We played Dungeons and Dragons.
Dragoons. Okay, so
Sorry.
hello everyone, and welcome to Legendary Actions. I'm your host Dicidius, and now we'll be beginning a brand new campaign as we enter into the Prime Material Plane, a place that has long since survived the Age of Strife, where dragons and titans once fought each other for the ownership of this realm. Through their hubris, they destroyed each other. But that is a different story. It is 20 years past an event known as the War of Durgan's Revenge, when a lich had laid siege to the country of Cern and plunged the world into chaos. Heroes long past have, well, not long past, they are still around, but heroes not a part of this story saved the day, and it is now 20 years later. Cern has been rebuilding itself. But because of this rebirth, we now have the beginning of something new. A group called the Adventurers Guild, built to head out into the world to discover the strange and the bizarre, to help those in need, and to begin training new adventurers for the new lands that have been discovered far away from what people had thought was the border to the Prime Material Plane. Our story begins in Cern's new capital of Rochdale, home to the Copper Market Quarters, to the half-draconic, half-titan kings of man, and the home to the Mages College. But as we zoom into Rochdale, we find ourselves at the epicenter of the Adventurers Guild. Over a small coastal ravine towards the bay of Rochdale is this large building built as an arch over this river, this small inlet of water towards the bay. Each of you have arrived here for your own reasons, whatever those reasons may be. Some of you seeking fortune and fame, maybe others looking for just a new lease in life, or maybe others looking to avoid things in their past that they rather forget. Each of you are currently sat at random tables to the outsides of this large guild hall. It is currently the season of trials, when the Adventurers Guild open their door once a year for prospective new members of the Adventurers Guild, where they will bring together people, or people come together as pre-existing groups, to try their hand at one of these massive adventures, to set out and to prove themselves worthy enough to join the Adventurers Guild. So, as each of you have been sat here and the other groups have been slowly placed together, each of you in turn is called upon by one of the different staff members of the Adventurers Guild to come together as you're all brought together at the center, around the edges of this large oaken table. Other teams are currently getting to know each other, sharing pleasantries and information, as each of you in turn will sit down at the table and will go left to right. So, please describe your character and, how you arrive.
Okay, why am I starting? Can we go the other way?
Alright, fine. Jack, you're up. You've been screwed.
Alright. I am Gil Sharkslayer. Ex-pirate. Looking for a little bit of a new lease, I suppose, on life, getting away from old pirates. And looking for some adventure.
Kuro?
Maybe I add a little featherlight charm that might make it work. How about hover charm? Do we have those? Yeah, no, I don't think so. Maybe. Let's see. Patting on the foot. Maybe. No, that wouldn't work. Scratch that. Why is it quiet? Something happened?
Hello, yes. Who the fuck are you?
Who am I?
Yes,
Who
your
am I?
name. Yes.
Some colorful folk here. Including myself. Okay. I would be Xavier Cypress. I suppose, Tinkerer Extraordinaire. I originate from up in, Golden to the, northwest. Yes, I, delight myself upon books, and more books. Not, you can never have enough knowledge. Is that it? Is that all I'm needed for? Because I must go back to my research.
Alright, well,
Well,
I'm going to disclaim, this is not at all what I look like in character, just what I had available, so, let's go a little bit of theater of the mind, shall we? Sitting at the table stands a rather average-sized man, about 5'6", slender, but a little pale, especially for how he seems to be. Long, straight black hair ends actually just past the shoulders. And he's wearing very heavy leathers, almost as a cloak that drapes over the shoulders on either side. The inside of the hood is actually lined with fur, ready for cold travel. Underneath the cloak is just seemingly regular clothes, dark browns. The things you'd see just anyone wearing traveling on the street. On one hip is a large satchel, which you will find he keeps a rather thick leather-bound book. And on the other are two small purses. One assumed to be his wallet based on the the metallic linking within. The other has this strange noise to it, like a rattling. He looks to each of you, calm expression, brown eyes gazing back at you, and he has this odd grin to him, almost like he knows more than he should. Waits to be addressed. Seems to be a quiet sort.
Alright, alright, this is not what Lucas looks like, but it's very similar. Lucas slowly walks to the table, like kind of nervously. He's dressed in dark blue and like in black and dark with a dark blue coat. He like a noticeable feature is like he wears a belt with a golden box with a ruby-esque jewels to on it. He slowly walks up. Hi. I'm Lucas. Pleasure to meet you, guys.
Afternoon.
He does not make any eye contact whatsoever.
intriguing.
You how do I explain this? The Satyr lady wouldn't would be bashing into as they enter into the tavern and not tavern but like the guild house or whatever. They immediately fall over and take a tumble over a chair.
Dex saving throw.
Fuck.
First roll, let's go!
Let's go!
Let's go! Let's go!
Well,
Let's fucking go! Come
I
on!
think I need to reroll that. I don't know.
What is it?
Give me a second. +2. So,
It's a
6.
6.
6.
Amazing.
You would watch as this giant satyr woman, almost rivaling that of a Goliath, comes walking in as you would see her horns clack against the door frame as she stumbles forward, her leg hooks over a chair as she goes pratfalling forward as you hear this loud set of boom, 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 as she lands to the ground. As a few of the teachers and some of the other people here just kind of all look like, are you
Don't
okay,
worry,
miss?
I'm
Are you-
okay. I'm fine. Don't worry, it's okay.
She's gonna jump up again and she's gonna be like,
Where am I going?
You're at that table over there, miss, with them.
she's not gonna walk, she's just gonna run there, but she's gonna like knock all the all the chairs that, even with people sat in them, she's gonna like run past. disregard it.
China shop. Oh no!
Uh,
I love her.
Uh,
I love her. All right.
Hello, I'm Shayna. It's a pleasure to meet you. I like flowers.
hi.
Hmm.
Hello.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I gotta write this down. Where's my research?
hello.
Adrian. What
Hi.
did you say your name was?
Shayna.
Shayna. Okay.
Shayna.
Yeah.
I see.
Or Shay J. Or Shay. Or S.
Shay.
Either one is fine.
That's quite a
Selection.
lot of names you have. Do you have a preference?
Nope.
That makes things
fuck.
easy.
Okay. For you, maybe.
No, not whatsoever.
Large cedar woman, 7 foot in size. Didn't I see you before? I swear I saw this woman before. It's right on the tip of my tongue.
I know.
Where was it? Probably when I was leaving Golden. I think I remember. Could have sworn I saw you stumbling around while I was on my journey.
That's a shame. I don't know you.
Interesting. Gotta write this down.
You'd really
As you guys are
think.
currently sat here, by the way, one of the current higher members of the guild, you would be able to recognize that they are higher ranked based on the badges that each of them wear. Some you would see having simple bronze badges adorned with the guild's logo. Others you would see with higher ones, such as steel, and one person currently wearing what appears to be maybe adamantine as their badge, but that could just be the light. No way someone that important is here. But as you are sat there, someone would walk up with a steel badge. As they walk up, they say to you, "Hey, sorry to bother you folks. Currently, you were a bit late for the opening ceremony, but we've still got a few of the trainers left. You're gonna need one for this, for your trials, to make sure that you ain't, flubbing any numbers and that you're actually doing your job and not getting killed." You guys can choose amongst yourself, but we currently have 4 left, and the man would point across to the other side of the room, and you'd see currently stood together are 4 very distinct people. Each one currently wearing iron badges. One would be what appears to be the classic semblance of a monk. Robes over their body, these iron chains draped from shoulder to shoulder down to their waist. Pale, bald head, as well as tattoos brandished up the arms. Next to that would be an orcish woman of slim build, very slim build, wearing very tight and very vibrantly coloured, like randomly coloured leathers. She is sat there currently playing with what appears to be some sort of device, looks like a crossbow maybe, without any sort of arrows, as on her face is currently painted a bunch of makeup to look like that of a clown. Next is a elderly human man, grey hair, thick beard down so far and tied in banded knots, as well as this ornately coloured blue and silver
a lot
robe.
of C's in that one. You're thick.
With the last one in the group, who stands far more boisterously than even the clown, would be an almost 7.5 foot tall giant alligator wearing thick barbarian-esque leathers. As the teacher says to you, take your time, just call one of them over if you're interested in them, and they can, get the look of you. When you've decided, you can come to the front desks. We'll issue you your mission, and then you'll be on your way.
Do you mean get the look of us? Just inspection, or?
Oh yes, it's definitely up to the your caretaker if you'll actually be going on this adventure or not. They can't be sending people out who very obviously wouldn't be able to survive.
Got it.
If you've got any
survived
questions,
worse, so
if you've got any questions, just hail them. They'll answer anything you need when they come give you a look. Gives you a bit of a nod, and he would step away and starts moving across. As you see, he's doing this for other groups of people as he's trying to, sift through and make sure everyone's doing okay.
What kind of can you tell us again what the tattoos of the monk was again?
Sure, perception check.
Alright, my perception again. It's very tiny, I can't enlarge this.
You just click on the sidebar for whichever
Sidebar?
page you need.
Yeah, I can see it, but I can't see the number. Hard to see the number.
I feel like I'll have to enlarge some more sheets. I think I'll just enlarge everyone's sheets when the time comes next session.
Wait, I'm focusing. +2. Alright. Alright, give it. Oh. I don't think that counts, right? That doesn't count, right?
Off the table. Off the table doesn't count.
it's gotta. Yep.
I love this. It's going to be a game of just throwing
15.
dice at the DM
15.
till the monster goes away.
15. 15.
15?
Yeah.
As you look across to the monk, as you get a better look at him, you would see that his eyes are pretty much solid black. The pallid skin, you would note that he is lacking ears or a proper nose, as this appears to not be actually a human, but a changeling, a very rare species indeed. As you look further down him, the iron chains that wrap around his body look very heavily weighted. As his slight movements, these things barely move an inch. The tattoos that mark, from what you can see, as he's sleeveless, but the tunic covers the rest, the markings down the sides look like more designed chains, as well as a long, coiled, wingless dragon that moves along with the chains down each arm to the backs of the hands, where it appears to be the open mouth of each dragon.
What
There's a lot of chain.
color are their badges? Are they all the same, or?
They're all iron rank.
Okay.
That guy has a lot of chains.
Well,
Huh?
it's they're well, we're following them, right?
I vote
Uh,
for the woman.
The colorful one.
he looks at
Yes.
the clown. They're like, okay,
Orquin.
Hmm.
Crocodile.
Wouldn't-
crocodile.
And honestly, wouldn't she stand out a little too much if we're
What do you
wanna
stand out?
be
What do you mean?
sneaky?
Anyway.
There's
I
so
don't
many
think we can be too sneaky with this
colors.
group.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Colors.
We
would
look like
probably-
rainbow, so we're pretty bad at stealth.
Brown.
What kind of
It's
rainbow?
fine.
Brown.
It's fine.
Blue.
It'll be fine.
Honestly,
my vote's
it's
still for the woman.
Just him, really. Blue. Guess.
I wonder if I can invest in a hair changing dye, maybe a skin changing dye.
Trust me.
Have to-
I was never particularly good with stealth myself, but my axes have never failed me so far. So
Crocodile.
Does seem rather imposing.
How about the elderly? He looks like he's a.
but
He has a
no one
vast
would
store of
expect the
knowledge.
colorful one to be.
Dangerous.
I don't really know
happy-go-lucky.
what to expect from her.
Just think
I
about all
guess,
the
well,
knowledge,
we can-
all the vast experience that's hiding behind that skull. To the elderly man. Can you imagine it?
Well, there's no harm
No.
just talking to them, right?
Something, that doesn't surprise me, even remotely. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
As you guys are trying to decide on this, you would see one of the other tables goes like this, and motions over, and they'd kind of like look to each other, and then the old man would lift his hand, and the table will like nod and wave him over as you watch one of the other groups has claimed their caretaker, as it
I'd
were.
like to do a quick
Ow.
perception check of the room, if I may.
Sure.
I want to see how many tables don't have a trainer yet. That's a 4.
A 4. As you begin looking around, you would suddenly hear. You would hear in the distance like, "Oh, my name's Altweary," and then you hear. As you would see, one of the tables is just shattered in half, like one of these thick wooden tables. As you would see what appears to be an Aarakocra who had just accidentally basically punched through the table just leisurely. As a bunch of the other tables kind of look that way. And
Yeah, my
then
attention's
slowly
pulled.
go back to what they were doing.
Power. What
Can
is
I-
that?
Can I do a roll to see how how comfortable the professor, like the three like caretakers look right now?
Sure. Give us insight roll.
Oh, that's another one. Two.
Wow, we were amazing.
Wow.
My first natural
Some
one.
great starting rolls.
I got like a 15. I got a 15. It's not too bad.
You were trying to look over to gauge that, but then you get distracted by the large weregator man as he laughs and dramatically like kind of flexes with the laugh.
Alligator.
Oh, I see why you want the alligator man.
Huh?
Why?
Never mind.
He
No,
also-
please, tell me.
What?
Tell.
He's a strong man.
Okay.
No.
Strength isn't everything.
He's just tall.
Let's agree to disagree.
That's why. He's just tall.
So you like height?
If the screen goes black, like it was
Yes.
like what do I?
Oh, the tables.
Yeah. Is it supposed to be that?
Just quickly rejoin Weld.
Alligator.
I mean, I already said the orcish woman.
Alligator.
Besides, I can always experiment a bit with the aforementioned patron. Sorry,
I'm
what?
gonna look about the party.
I'm
Out
not
of who-
going with the circus.
Out of those here, who's actually like wearing armor?
I am not wearing armor.
Is anyone actually?
Leather
Hold
or
on.
otherwise?
Oh wait, I'm wearing
anyone
leather.
wearing armor?
I'm wearing leather armor.
Leather?
I think so.
I have leather armor, I think.
Alright.
I think I put scale. If that is a thing. There's scale
Scale,
underneath, but
okay.
you won't see it.
Oh, okay, got it. So coat, dress, leather, regular clothes, leather. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, but just pausing a second. I've just been reminded by Afro and Cora, turn off tooltips. Like right this second before we continue, turn off tooltips.
Oh, okay.
If you keep your tooltips on in this, because of how we run the map and everything, you'll eventually just crash.
Where's
Oh.
tooltips?
Oh, okay.
Quick menu,
options.
gear,
Gear.
and
Tooltips.
it'll be tooltips, UI
I
elements.
see it. I see it. I found it. Thank you.
Got it. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Alright.
Sorry about that. Please continue.
That's fine. Just from how he seems to carry himself, the gator man seems like he'd do as well.
I
Alligator.
suppose.
He's in a good mood too.
I can see your point.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I suppose it's all of you versus me, so suppose we've made our decision.
Yeah.
Like he just
Xavier
nods.
Xavier will put,
So, yeah.
start raising his hand over to the gator, motion him over.
You see
just
them
start
kind of,
waving
look
too,
between each
just
other,
randomly.
And the gator just like points at himself.
Come on over.
Gives a thumbs up.
Silence.
Fuck!
He's
I have a
muted.
mic on. Okay. built like a train as he walks towards you. Thick muscle. This leather bandolier coming across the chest where the badge is pinned to a shoulder pad up here. And then thick what looks like bear fur around the waist under an even thicker leather belt with some shredded shorts underneath. As he comes sauntering up, tail like lashing behind him, he just says, greetings everyone. Name's Grawl. Pleasure.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi there.
evening.
So you're the lot who's looking to be adventurers, eh?
Aye.
That is my purpose here tonight, yes.
Interesting lot of you, that's for sure. Look like you're gonna be a lot of fun, though.
I'm always.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Excellent. Well, if you'll have me, I'll have you.
Well,
Splendid.
wonderful.
I only have one rule. If I catch anyone running from a fight, I'm biting your legs off.
And he smacks his hand onto the table.
Insight check.
How much
Sure.
force is needed?
Can I
for
also
an
insight
Oh,
check?
dang, it's on the wood.
I wonder.
Yes, you can insight.
God damn it.
check, yeah.
Roll
I'm going to
forward,
laugh
not
with him.
Hmm.
He just keeps laughing as you laugh.
Is the dot on the bottom for
Yeah.
6s and 9s? So that's delicious. That's a 12.
12?
Yeah.
Oh, he's being entirely truthful.
Got it.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Well, you may be able to bite my legs off, but something tells me you could swallow me whole without a problem.
He looks you up and down briefly and then just goes,
Looks
Yeah,
like he could bite
probably.
you in half.
Oh, well, he can most certainly try. I will put up the fiercest fight any of your food has ever had.
I think that's a 15.
Oh.
I got 15 in insight. I get same thing.
yeah, he's telling the truth.
He's entirely. He nervously continues to laugh.
I wonder if I can.
Oh, I'm
work
so
those that way.
happy.
Maybe take 2 iron pieces,
Hey.
mash them together hard enough.
Yes, you're
how
practically
much force I've
bouncing
made.
up and down in your seat. We can tell.
Yeah.
So, let's get going then, unless you guys have anything better to do.
Well, no, not me.
If you're prepared, very well.
Right? So, this is now your adventure. I'm just following along to make sure that things go smoothly. So, front desk for your mission, for your grand adventure.
Suddenly, I feel so much smaller.
So if each
Shader's
of you
gonna
get
just
up
walk
in turn, yeah, as each of you get
Shader's
up
just
in
gonna
turn,
walk straight there, so.
you go barreling straight ahead. Everyone else still
In
getting
chairs.
up. You're just like,
Lucas will fall. Lucas will follow after her
I
and
suppose so.
apologize to everyone that she bumps into.
Hey, egghead.
Sorry. Sorry.
Eh,
sorry.
He's gonna climb up on your shoulder.
I'm hitching a ride.
Very well. Pulls out a book and starts looking through his notes as he walks by.
charisma check, Si.
Alright. Alright.
I feel like I should be standing up, but I'm not gonna lie.
What is that?
That's up to you.
17.
17. Everyone greatly appreciates you saying sorry to them as you pass by each one of them. As she knocks into one, you say, "Oh, sorry." They just go, "Oh, thank you very much," and then just hand you a copper coin.
He.
He's got to get
Grubs, he just
somebody's
grabs it and is
number
like,
by apologizing.
Thank you. He will just continue and apologize to everyone, as he continues.
So as you guys head for the front desk, you would see another strange sight. More and more keep piling up in this place. As behind the desk appears to be this large insect-like creature, looking almost like a grasshopper. This creature is currently just sat there, like fumbling through books and checking each of them as he kind of stops and looks up at you. And he's only about 4 foot or so. So looks up at most of you as he adjusts the book and, can I help you?
I am far too
Shada's
sober
staring
for
down.
this.
She's just staring down at him.
You're so small.
You wouldn't happen to have a bit of alcohol in those bottles, would you? I'm far too sober for this.
Alcohol?
So small.
I guess you could say that. I should have him just.
You know what?
It could be.
You know
poison
what?
research.
He's gonna climb back down.
Well, what
think
do you
I'm good.
mean? So, you sure
No,
you
no,
don't
it's
need
fine.
alcohol? Takes
No, no.
We're here for quests.
No,
Sure,
I'm
sure.
good.
Yeah, I
That-
insist.
I'm fine.
Don't worry
No.
about it. It's
You put
completely safe.
it back. No, I don't believe you. Put it back on your belt.
Well,
Very well.
yes, we've got quests available. 1 second, please. Turns as he looks to Grawl, who kind of gives a nod back. He'd step across as you see him go to these rows of, like, shelves, little cubbies that have scrolls in them. He'd look to one, and then you just hear Grawl go, as you'd see him go, and the next one over, and he'd just keep kind of, as he then keeps stepping to the right, and then picks out one of the far later scrolls. As you can see, they've just been going down the line of scrolls, handing them off to the different groups. He's just made him bypass to, like, some of the later ones as he turns around and places down the scroll, undoes it. We have a necromancer's crypt deep within the country of Luloi. It was apparently someone, a lich, trying to snuff out the power of the sun, bathe the world in permanent darkness. But yes, it's southeast of the city of Lilliput. It will be up to you to venture your way there and travel through the dungeon to collect a pre-made marker at the end of it. The main threat has long been since dealt with, but the dungeon has been slowly recreating the forces as the magic there has imbued it to do so. So there still will be quite the challenge in that dungeon. So don't underestimate it just because it's a cleared one. But yes, you will be ranked on your performance throughout the travel as well as the dungeon. So if there are any opportunities to complete quests or any requests that are made of you, that will help further your ranking, as well as detract if you do any acts that would be considered unlawful for the area you are in. Do you have any questions before I give you the assignment sheets?
Oh, is that a scroll? Let me see that. Xavier tries to snatch up the scroll.
He just lets you.
Very interesting. Necromancer, huh?
Getting excited over a scroll. Why am I not surprised?
I wonder what knowledge I could learn here. Maybe a dead rising.
Do you have a map
vulnerability?
I could buy so we can navigate?
Well, yes, we have maps. We are giving them to the teams. He unrolls one of the maps under the table and sets it onto it. It's not like the best quality map.
Very nice, very nice.
Because it's made by the Adventurers Guild and not, the actual Wayfinders Guild or anything. So, he sets it down, unrolls it for you, as I will very
Is there a
briefly
pen
move
nearby?
the map to show you. Perception check.
Okay. Oh boy. What was that? Wait, was that actual... Did I get a 20?
Oh wow.
Got a 20, I got a...
He's 20, I'm looking for the pen.
23!
So as you
On a
as
pen.
you reach to the side and pick up, there's a little holster full of these little quills and a little inkwell near it. You pick out one at random, but it looks like someone had left their own personal quill there, as you would pick out this gold tip quill with this, what may be a phoenix feather sticking out the back of it.
She's just going to draw a smiley face, like, on the paper. That's all she's going to do. She's just going to draw a smiley face and hold on to this. Now she's really intrigued by this clever pen.
Oh god, I swear we're all dead.
So he said,
Here,
you said south
is-
of Lilliput, yes?
south of Lilliput, so it will most likely be around this area. I can't give you exact specifics because it is your duty to find places like this. This is the reason why the map is so limited. It's to help you grow as adventurers.
This is going through 2 full countries. Is there a time limit?
There is a time limit of 2 years. If you are unable to complete the mission within 2 years, you will be automatically forfeit, and any monetary recompense will be kept.
Good to
We
know.
should be able to do that, no problem.
Years. Alright.
More than enough time.
Xavier slams the scroll back on the desk, and you'll see a lot of little scribbles, details, just a bunch of like how you see like an over prepped college student, basically notes that
Madman
are basically
scrollings.
madman scrollings that are inillegible. Thank you for that scroll. I enjoyed my time with it. I have much to put in for our journey.
It's going
Can
to
I
be
have
a
this?
very long journey. A very long,
yes.
long journey.
And that scrolls for you to take. It's for the
Oh.
information.
Thank
I'll,
you.
I'll
Oh.
I'll carry them back. Roll it up.
She just says thanks and just turns around and walks away with the feather in her hand.
Just walks away with the feather.
Wait, were we supposed to sign something, or are we good?
Oh no.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. Pulls out another scroll from the side, as you'd see, not the scroll, the book from the side, as you'd see it's this large ledger that is full of, like, names and that. As he would flip to a new page, he turns it around and holds out one of the quills from the side. Please sign your name. If you're unable to sign, then a simple thing you can do is dab some of the ink on your thumb and use that.
I'm gonna just take the quill, scribble.
You just quickly scribble your name down.
Yeah,
Just scribble, almost barely legible Gil.
If I may.
What
Well, Adrian will sign it in pretty decently legible cursive. Sure. Is that alright?
Perfect, thank you, thank you.
you'll take up the pen
I'll
again.
take that from you.
We're
He'll
signing our
he'll,
name.
yeah, he'll take the pen and try his best to write as nicely as possible, and then hands it off to I forgot your character's name.
Xavier
Xavier.
plucks the quill from Lucas and proceeds to write in the ledger. Xavier Cyprix, Tinkerer Extraordinaire, in really fancy cursive.
As you write well off the little, like, area for writing your name.
Exactly. Yeah. And he puts down the ledger and quill
Boss,
and slides it back.
suddenly I feel like I haven't
didn't-
written enough.
I want to sign.
Well, go on. No one's stopping you.
He passes it over to
Give me the pen.
I
passes
put
it them
down
both.
on the table.
Pass,
If you
passes
have
them
that
both.
gold one.
What golden? What?
You,
Where did you
have
place that?
you had the
It's
quiver.
currently it's like it's on her like just like behind her ear. She's forgot where she put it. It's fine, don't worry. So she's just gonna put S. That's all she's gonna put.
There you go.
S for snake.
Yes.
I see. All right.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
This is the most awkward
So-
D&D party I've ever seen, and I love them. I know you fuckers can be outgoing. I know you fuckers can be outgoing, so this is gonna be great.
I am. What are you talking about? I'm ready to go.
Gonna push the book back and she's gonna turn around and walk out. There you go.
Do you know where we're going?
Sid is already just storming out the door.
Nope.
Just fucking leaving.
Remember to duck. I'm surrounded by imbeciles.
Kind of mean.
Well. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, you did.
Oh.
What's
Well,
an
I meant every
imbecile?
word of it.
You're gone.
Well, except for you.
Oh,
Except
okay.
for you. You've been relatively quiet, so far, not you. You three, maybe.
Should I be talking?
It says
Definitely.
you.
Yes, it says me, Gil, Shark Slayer.
You should.
Doubtful, but okay.
As she's
probably
just
what-
leaning in from the door and just shouting this across the hall.
Well,
should
doubtful about
probably-
what? My name? You're doubtful about my name. What is there
Yes.
to doubt? What is there to doubt?
What?
We should go over
We
to
should
her. Probably.
catch up to her.
Yeah.
What?
You're kind of yelling
Hold
in the
up.
middle of
He's
the
gonna
hall.
Get down of where he was standing up. And
As you there you go, running as well.
Xavier will just pull out a potion bottle, pull up the top, and start walking
he's
after
just gonna
the group
stare
as he
up
starts
from his
experimenting.
3 feet nothing. What is there to doubt about my name, you freakishly
fucking
tall
look at her.
woman?
Please, please.
Excuse me.
Turn off the
Hold
play
on,
space.
hold
Get
on.
back down there. Yes!
There you go.
What is there to doubt about my name, you freakishly tall woman?
Everything.
Do you have specifics?
You're so small.
No, I'm not small. You're just freakishly tall.
No, you're small.
I am not small. You're just tall.
No, you're small.
As they continue to exchange.
Wait, he's gonna climb up you before you leave.
Oh.
Give us a dex check. Acrobatics specifically.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Okay. 12 plus 2.
14. So you do clamber up her, but because of the fact that she's wearing essentially a slim dress and vines, you don't have the best purchase, so when you go to slap her, you just kind of flick one of the horn tips before dropping down.
Now, sure.
Did something hit me?
You just hear squeaks and otter noises as he walks away.
Girl's just watching this with a dumb smile on his face. Just, this is gonna be great.
This,
I
this
like
will
that.
certainly
This is
this will
gonna be
certainly be
interesting.
interesting.
Well,
Wait, you know what?
yes.
I'm sorry about this. I'm so sorry. She's gonna. When you were making the squeaks though, she's walking up to you and she picks you up and she's gonna carry you like under her arm.
Oh no!
Are you gonna
Grapple, let's
resist in
go.
any way, or you just let it happen?
PvP.
He's just gonna let it happen, but she's just gonna hear increased angry otter noises.
Flailing angrily.
You just
But
pick
his
him up
tail
like a
is-
little handbag the dog.
His tail is wagging back and
Yeah.
forth, essentially.
Amazing.
Likes it. It's fine.
I wonder if I can make a little saddle for him. I'll make carrying him much easier. Gotta jot this down in my notes.
I suppose, should we maybe look into figuring out how we're getting there?
Yeah, we should probably also catch up to them and tell them.
It's way too far to go just by foot.
Have you ever been?
Just for
We're
reference.
around-
Just for reference, each of these tiles on the map is a day's travel on foot.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Yeah, we.
Oh my
need-
god.
We. Have you ever been down that way?
we're looking at no, I'm a homebody, as they say.
Same.
Or- This is going to be maybe months.
Yeah, you boys are gonna have to get a cart or something. I already got my own steed, as it were, but you're definitely gonna need something to transport all of you guys.
Of course. Need a horse and a carriage.
Maybe we could pay
course.
someone. He's just gonna look up at her. Maybe we could pay someone.
Why?
Because going there,
Take us there.
because going there on foot was.
We could maybe try
Via-
by ship.
Maybe we could just
Could
get a
we?
cart and I could just push us.
Oh, with the ships, you have to be careful. Pirates and all.
Then we'd have to go around the entire continent, so that it might take longer. Right, well, to the stables then? See if they have anything.
He nods and like.
That sounds good to me. I suppose it's our only option.
Onward then.
I'm still carrying you. But
I
like I'm
suppose
kind of
we're
like
now
swinging,
looking-
so you'll kind of go. Whoa.
He's fully
I suppose
accepted
we're
his
looking for
fate.
some sort of stable.
All right. So you guys head to the southern end of the city of Rochdale. You've at least got the basic layout of this place, and it's not hard to miss. As you pass by the train station, one of the few stations of this brand new technology, you pass by the train yard as you head downwards towards the stables. Quite close to the butchery and where they trade livestock. The stables is currently packed with so many different carts, carriages, and people who have, stabled their horses here. As you head through to the actual building of the stables, you would see currently sat to one side is this short gnomish fella who is currently playing with his beard and staring off into the distance as if in thought.
I'm gonna let go of you. I'm gonna walk over to the gnome man, and I'm gonna just start braiding his beard.
Oh, well, let's.
Charisma check.
Okay. Oh god. Okay. God. Right. Okay. Let me have a look. Might be dumb. Think I'll be dumb.
Okay,
Uh,
that looks like an 18.
18.
Bottom one.
Plus 3, I
Wow.
believe.
You're not going to We can't let her keep getting away with this.
So, yeah, we're 21. 21, you just start braiding his beard and he just lets it happen.
So, you here to breed me hair, or you're actually looking to buy horses?
Both.
Buy a horse, for the most part.
I should be paying you for this.
We're looking for our full wagon.
Well, and he kind of adjusts how he sat, but minding his head's movement, because he's actually kind of liking having his beard braided like this. As he just kind of adjusts how he is, it's just there.
Well, we got a cheap cart available, or we got some full-on carriages if you want that. Depends what you're looking for.
We need to make a very, very long journey.
Needs to be able to fit 6 of us, and 2 of us are rather large. So
I can walk.
She can walk.
I don't think
There's
that's
offer,
going to be an
but-
option.
I could.
It is now.
I don't
I
think
could-
you could. Well, what?
It is now.
I can make for room for around
That-
4 hours. If space is an issue, I can.
No, it's. Well, needs to be able to like fit everyone while we're traveling.
Yeah.
So,
By the way, she's finished
maybe-
plaiting the beard, and it's like just like this French braid sort of thing.
He just dramatically like rubs down it as he kind of cocks one leg over the other and is now grinning.
That's really good work.
Are the carts and carriages like in plain view, or are they in like a separate room?
As you look to one side of it, you would see that they do have like an area where the carts and carriages are, that they do have for sale. Each one has like they're almost in like pens that would have had the animals in, but they've since swapped out and removed the front fencing, with these little wooden like piece signs with the prices on. As you would see, the carts, it's, you know, open air, little shabby, you know, old, simple flat thing, marked down for only 25 gold pieces. But they have a full-on large carriage for about 100 gold pieces. That one's like a fully covered thing, you know, doors, windows, lanterns, the works. But there is a slight middle ground with a, similar to the cart, but it has like this large awning over the top of it, as well as a proper bench for the driver to sit, as is a wagon for about just around 40 gold pieces.
wagon
like-
seems nice.
Okay. Let me find my wording. Can I tell like how long the cheap one would last, like on a trip like this?
Give us investigation.
Okay. Give me a sec.
While he's inspecting the wagon, how much are horses around here? I imagined the breed, but
Well, depends what you're looking for. Well, we got some smaller ponies that go for quite cheap. We had a few adventurers who have bought those without thinking. Well, we have lowest price I can give you would be the donkeys.
That's a 16.
Well, we need
But we
something
got
that'll make the
some-
journey and back.
We got some
Yeah.
fairly good draft horses. I can do you those for about 55 gold pieces.
Can I try out
probably
the
need 2 for the
the
larger
wagons to see if I can fit?
Yes.
By all means.
Thank you. She's just gonna walk up to the wagon and
So
I got a
Try and get
16
it
on the
in.
inspection or the
100
investigation.
150 then? 2 horses into a tarp.
16,
So
11,
you begin
plus 5.
looking over. You begin looking over the carriage. No, the cart. Sorry. As you do, this one looks like it is. You know, it's definitely seen its use. As you go across, you do the classic thing of kicking the wheel and checking the suspension and that as you walk around it. Shiana steps up and onto the cart, and you just hear it kind of wheeze a little as the suspension kind of lowers a little and then back up. It looks like it could carry everyone and then have some space spare for maybe at the maximum 2 crates worth of goods. But it is older, so if you got into any sort of, you know, altercation, then this thing could end up getting wrecked pretty easily.
Yeah, it,
Probably
Uh,
less
Sorry,
than
was that
sure.
the wagon, the one that was for 40 gold,
The
or was
cart.
that for
Alright.
the 25 gold? Okay.
That was the
But-
25.
The cheap one could.
My
hold us,
opinion's
it's
always
just-
something more.
Cheap one can hold us, but it's probably gonna get destroyed.
My opinion's always
Alright.
for more
Probably-
reliable things. It's gotta last a while, some time.
Yes, I'm not sure if it may be able to hold us, but I don't know. I don't think it'll last very long.
Not as far as I can tell.
But I mainly know boats,
Hmm.
so
I'd say
My
we get
vote's
the one
on
with the most
the
space.
wagon.
oh well.
In case
My
we need
vote
to
is on the
carry any-
carriage, but that's also quite expensive.
Seems a little.
The 40 gold one
What's
seems.
the word? Almost
probably
too
the best.
fancy. Right? It brings attention.
That's true. It could.
I prefer we have more space in case we gain any excess cargo along the way.
True.
I'd like to be
Longer
comfortable.
trip.
Okay. What was the $40 cart? Sorry, 40 gold cart. Like again?
Similar to the cart, the wagon is same sort of design, but it has an awning over the top of it to protect from, you know, rain and adverse weather, as well as a proper seating area for the driver, as opposed to just being just a wooden shelf, basically. It has
Is
like
it-
a proper seat with a cushion on.
Is this
Just
one
more
new?
comfortable in general.
This one you could probably fit instead of that you could fit four crates worth of goods on, as well as everyone else.
No, he explains this to Yeah, he explains this like, oh yeah, we could fit a lot more on this one.
Sounds
I'm gonna
And
walk
we-
on the wagon.
Please don't.
Clop, clop, clop as you kind of step around it. This one's obviously newer, so the suspension kind of shifts a little, but generally is able to be a lot more stable than the cart was.
Xavier climbs
Yeah.
on the onto the cart as well to inspect the interior.
You mean the wagon or the cart? Wagon's the covered one, cart's the uncovered one.
Wagon.
Wagon. Yeah, as you step inside, there's flaps at the front, so you can open it up and be able to like speak to the driver, or just clamber up into the driver's seat. There's also flaps at the back, so you could fully close this thing if it's, you know, like a very cold or very hot situation, and be able to have some shade or protection from the cold. And the material of the cover is this thick, like tarp sort of material, you know, like dense fabric, basically.
Hmm.
Well, you hear Xavier from inside the wagon. Well, the wagon does have its benefits with extra space, nice protection from the sun, whatnot. There still comes the drawbacks of, again, being painted as more of a target who knows what we might encounter, and they won't go straight for us if they see us anyway. Although I suppose we could also blend in depending on the area we're in.
Was this the 40 gold one or the 100 one gold?
The
40.
40. It goes cart, wagon, then carriage.
Okay.
I say the wagon.
I would
I have to agree.
I would go with the
60
Yeah,
gold
wagon.
is a lot too, so saving a lot of
The
money.
wagon is an astute choice. We don't have much to. I don't think we have much to begin with in the first place, and it does ascertain our needs quite well.
I can cover the wagon. You guys can board the horses. 'Cause that's another 110 right there.
You know what? Since your lovely friend here did such a good job on me beard, I'll knock off 5 gold for the wagon.
I'm actually gonna cut him off. It's like as soon as it sounds like he's going to give an offer, I actually want to cast prestidigitation and just make her just smell like vibrant flowers.
Ooh. Charisma check from you at advantage.
Okay. Fuck.
Oh no.
I gotta do something real quick. I'll be right
It's gonna
back.
be the one time she rolls low.
So did you say charisma saving or?
Charisma
uh,
check at advantage.
Saying all these words and I don't understand.
Advantage basically means roll twice and use the highest. Disadvantage
okay
is
then.
roll twice and use the lowest.
So that's 60. 16.
16?
Oh.
You have no clue that he just did this, but you know, you're just turning to look in a direction, but that dwarf, in his eyes, it's just
Shampoo
like,
commercial?
hair swoop, the smell, and he's
Just very slow
You see
and
him-
everything.
he looks across to, very obviously what his boss is at the other side of the area, as he's like stabling up what look to be some very large war horses. He just looks back and just goes,
You know what? Just nix the wagon off your cost. Just don't tell my boss.
Deal. So,
Oh.
pair of fine horses, then,
Alright.
I suppose. Who are your favorites?
Well, we got some good draft horses, but if you're looking for something a bit better, we got some good riding horses. They're a lot faster than your regular draft. Can't carry as much as they do, but they're generally pretty good because if you need to be doing something fast, you can drop the cart and then go sprinting off with them.
How much?
Good, because
I had a lag spike.
there's a bit of lag though. We good? We good? I see.
I had a lag spike.
Sidious is okay.
I don't know.
I think we're good.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm
Just let
The damage cold.
I'm fine.
I'm
Yeah.
doing good.
We're losing him.
Wilson. Vrchat.
this is.
Oh. One
I'll
falls,
make
two
a
falls.
You fall.
follow you guys. Okay. So, back to where we were. You guys were discussing horses.
Discussing horses.
How much was the horses? I think I asked.
Draft horse was 50 gold per horse. Riding is 75 per horse. There is technically the lower of those, which are pony, which are 30, donkey, which are 8, and then there is technically also the war horse, which you would see off to one side with these really elegant bridles and everything, and the barding just all, immaculately done with these tassels and deep red colors. But that thing is marked at about 400 gold for a single horse.
Holy.
Something to work towards.
I can pay for at least one of the draft horses.
Yeah, I can pay for a draft too. If people. have
I could pay
deals.
for racing.
Okay.
Should we get one of each, maybe?
I mean, we would only need 2. Could only probably fit 2. Well, I barely have enough for a draft horse myself.
Maybe we should go for the draft because it's cheaper. That you said that they're slower, but they carry more, though, right?
Yeah, I believe that's what he said.
All right. Sure, I'll put towards 50 for one.
He puts the other 50 for the other one. Lucas puts the other 50 for the
So
other one.
just
Alright.
we need 10 more on top of that, right?
For that's
55. Yeah.
Alright, I'll get that together. We'll also throw in bit and bridle and all that. Also get you some animal feed will do you. Most major stables will make sure they're fed, but best to always have some on hand.
As he goes across, you would see him talking to some of the other stable hands, as you would see them starting to get gear and equipment together for these horses. As they're slowly pulling some of them out and, you know, like, putting the bits and that between the mouth and all this and getting them ready for you guys to take them off your hands. As they bring them around and start saddling them up to the wagon, you'd see the dwarf return and slings two bags, kind of like this size sacks, over into the wagon past the little like cloth tarps for you guys to take. As you kind of look about, you would see that Grawl is at the other side, where people have been putting in their animals and such. As you would see him kind of with a lead in one hand, leading what appears to be a large velociraptor-looking creature. As he's
What
just waltzing
is
that
that?
back to the group.
What is
Interesting
that?
specimen.
I don't know.
It's so cute.
Cute. That. Okay.
Yes.
I suppose that's one way of describing such a thing.
As he returns closer, you would see that on top of the bit it's got, it has this large band that is basically snapped around its muzzle to keep it from opening it. As you would just see rows of teeth, and you can just hear it just making this slow growling, hissing noise. As he just pats it between the eyes.
Does he have a name?
Yeah, he's got a name. But
But what?
Did you say butt?
he is a butt. Yeah.
Where did you find this butt? Which region? In my studies, I've not come across such a magnificent creature before.
This big bitch. They're from down south of Ilon Val. Place used to be called a Gren, where the dwarves were from. This thing used to dive off cliffs between the holds and jump down on prey. Strong
Hiya.
legs can carry me easy.
Brilliant.
I have to write that down.
Interesting.
Well, that's concerning.
Must keep eye out for later.
What do the horses that we're getting look like? Can I ask?
These horses are somewhat large draft horses, kind of around this height. One is a sort of browny mahogany color, where the other is like this nice solid black color with these little grayish splotches here and there.
Would you like to give them names then?
Hamster, macaroni.
Which one's which?
And the one I helped buy would be called macaroni.
Hamster and macaroni. Is there
Yeah.
names?
Yeah.
Okay.
So ham and mac. Got it.
That works.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Sure.
That
I
kinda
mean,
does
I could have
prompt
called him
something there.
Cheese.
Mac
What?
and cheese.
Yeah.
Hmm. I
Mac.
think we should stick with ham and mac.
Okay. That's fine.
So the
Alright.
stable hands end
Actually,
up finishing latching them up to the wagon as they, lead it out. As you guys are now proud owners of a wagon and 2 draft horses.
Woo.
I'm hungry.
I have I would assume that we would have like backpacks with us, right?
Backpacks,
Oh, no.
satchels, whatever
Yeah.
stylistic choice you want for your carrying implement.
All right.
Mm, get a
So satchel, and I pull out
Satchel.
I pull out like just a block of cheese.
Did you?
Just roll us a d20.
Okay. What did I get?
It was like a
It's like a 6 or
9.
something. I don't know.
I think it's a 9.
9.
No.
9.
9. Okay.
It looks like a fairly cheap cheese wheel, like, something from like a local fair that somebody has done on the cheap. Like there's no exterior mottling, there's no like seal from any like proper cheese makers. It's just like as if she went to the store and bought the cheapest cheese wheel available.
And it's a big one too, so it takes up the majority of her bag.
I'm just trying to
Did-
think of like what.
Do you just have a cheese wheel?
Mm-hmm.
She should eat in
I don't see
parts of
anything
the
wrong
cheese.
with it.
Oh.
No, I
Would you like
actually
some?
should say I'm surprised, but somehow I'm not.
I would love a piece actually. Small one. You can like break off like a little corner.
I am a bit famished, I suppose. Picks up a small piece.
This brings a good point, but probably
I
buy
think.
He
Um,
takes a bit
rations.
off and then he,
Are you
Yeah,
going
he
to
pops it in
die
his
if
mouth.
you eat this?
It's cheese. Why would I die?
No. She
I
does
don't
make a
know.
good point. It depends what kind of species you are. You see, some species aren't able
Mm.
to process certain animal products correctly. They could result in a bit of a factual problem.
Egghead? Egghead.
Yeah.
Down here.
Hmm?
Get the little lower. Come here. I'm gonna tell you
Yes,
some secrets about my people. Lower?
Oh, some secrets.
Yes.
that was I
Secrets,
gotta say
secrets.
that was deserved.
It's very informative. Otters,
It's
Would you like
cheese.
some more
you-
cheese for
we'll talk about
comfort?
cheese.
Comfort cheese.
It's cheese, you dumbass.
See, I
Otters
can
know
eat
what
cheese.
get a
cheese?
bit. Maybe
Thank
he's
you.
angered at
He's
break
gonna-
whenever cheese is involved. Yes, very great research.
If was it a dwarf or a gnome? Sorry,
Dwarf.
dwarf. If the dwarf is back with us, she's gonna offer some cheese to him.
Oh, thank you. Snaps a bit off and just kind of being very careful with that meticulously cared for moustache and now beard.
She's popped it back in her bag.
Amazing.
Mm.
Oh,
You
Cheese.
have eaten 1/10 of your cheese wheel.
God damn, I need to make it magical so it's infinite. Okay.
you get by the infinite cheese wheel.
Infinite cheese wheel? Oh
Yes.
Oh god, that's gonna
The
be great.
greatest superpower. Throw it on the ground in a room and then just cast fire, like create fire on it and then run out of the room, just watch it slowly flood with cheese.
Endless fondue.
Actually,
Oh.
become the most powerful weapon of all time.
We need to make this happen.
Fondue the entire room.
Now then, are we poised to set out yet, or shall we
We
procure
were.
some
I was
supplies?
going to discuss probably just rations.
Actually,
Very well.
can I do something? um, can I cast Druid craft?
Okay.
I'm making like a small like it's like I can make a faint odor of like a skunk, but I'll make a faint odor of like a fart.
Okay. You make a faint odor of a fart as it gently wafts through the group. Grawl just kind of makes like a grossed face and looks around to try and figure out who made it.
Right. Interesting.
Gross.
I'm trying to think of what like vegetable like or like non-meat like rations are there. I think that the only thing I can think of
Potatoes.
is like potatoes and like bread.
There's bread, salted meats.
Potatoes, carrots,
There's a lot of choices.
Right.
Yeah,
yams.
onions.
Alright.
Potatoes last forever.
Yeah.
Do a lot
That
with
is
them.
true.
There's a lot.
Radish.
For going over rations, he has only like potatoes and like carrots. That's it.
Like in your bag?
Like that's the 10 days of worth of rations he has.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have
That's
a
it.
bit of a mix.
I have a few rations, so I think I'm good on food.
If we're going over rations, I do have a few packs of bread, salted meat, and some water. Only
Well,
basics.
it's
I
going
have
to be
fish.
probably a while before we get to the next town, so
I have about
don't really want to risk running out.
I have about 10 days worth of rations.
Same here.
Same.
Should we go
You
to
guys
the
would
park?
know. You guys would know travel-wise, since you now have like horse travel and such. You now travel two of the hex tiles per day now. So it'll take you 3 days to get to the nearest town.
You know, I'm willing to go shopping. I grab some food from the market and come back here. Probably be a little while. You guys will get to
We could.
wagon set up.
I'll go with you.
Sure.
Okay, so there's one thing I'm gonna do just to make things easier for now and forevermore. I am pasting down something called the shop catalog.
Alright.
And this is filled with the prices
Yay.
of every random assorted everyday bit and piece. So, rations, torches, water skins, ink wells, all that jazz are noted down on this thing. So you'll be able to look at that, and if you guys want to go buy like things that you need, and we don't want to spend the entire session sitting there and going, oh well, I buy my flask, how much is that? Oh, I'd like a healer's kit, how much is that? I'll basically say to you guys, when you guys go, oh, we want to go buy stuff, you like buy supplies, I'll just say, oh, this is a normal area, a cheap or an expensive area. This area is a normal cost area. So anything on there that you want to buy, so you were saying about rations, those would be 5 silver pieces for a day's worth of rations.
I am going to get a big ol' sack of potatoes and some assorted like herbs and spices for cooking. Hope that doesn't break the bank.
I cannot actually click on anything outside in my Steam VR thing, so I can't look at it. So
Well, the rations cost 5 silver pieces for this area, and that's a day's worth of rations per 5 silver. So 2 days worth of rations is a gold
so
piece.
5 of
essentially.
us, assuming that I don't have to feed Crocodile Guy. That's a gold
No,
a day.
he has like a big old sack on his back, like a big
Yeah, so
rucksack sort of thing.
assuming we're not feeding him. So 5 a day. So I'll get 10 extra days, I suppose, for everybody. So just huge, big old sack potatoes and get some carrot and onion there too. Hope it keeps.
So it'd
Essentially, I'm going to
basically
get.
be 4 gold.
I'm getting
4
10
gold
days
for,
worth
10
of recipe
days.
for soup, for like soup.
Yeah, so it'd be 10 gold. No, sorry, 4 gold for the 10 days worth of basically soups.
Got it. Alright, noted. Got shut off.
Scary.
I was I would just, well, I was going to say that Shayna would have just left by herself, and she would have actually gone to go get 4 healing kits, which is 5 gold pieces.
Yep.
So
you can
yeah,
mark,
that's all she would
mark
have
off
got.
the cost and add in the healing kits to your equipment.
Mhm.
So you guys
That's
basically go each your own ways and collect together a bunch of stuff that you want, like, you know, rations and the other such.
I really appreciate you coming with me. I wouldn't have been able to
Alcohol. Is there
carry all this
alcohol on that
my own.
list? Because I still
really,
can't look
really
at it.
Yeah, like he's
underestimated how much this would be.
he's physically like trying to
Oh.
carry some stuff, but it's obvious that he's pretty weak.
Oh, yeah,
No
no,
pro- no pro-
Adrian
no
too.
problem.
You can tell he's really struggling.
no problem. But
Oh god, what did I just open?
Just 2 wimps
Okay.
trying to carry big grocery trips.
So there's several things you can buy in terms of alcohol, and that is the cheapest alcohol that you can buy is about 2 gold pieces. Sorry, 1 gold piece for a bottle. But you can go higher price for 2 gold pieces per bottle, or 3 gold pieces per bottle for quality.
He would just probably buy 2 bottles of the lowest.
So it'd be 2 gold pieces. And these bottles are like this big. Like wine bottle size.
Yeah, that's more than enough for him. So
Is there a potion shop in the town?
Give us a perception check as you wander around trying to find one.
I have to throw this like right in front of my face. God damn it. That's +1. 16.
16? Yeah, you managed to find what is essentially the Alchemist's Row. It is tucked away, but you do find it, and it has a bunch of different stores of varying prices and cost. As you look through it, you're able to find pretty much anything you really need. It just depends on what it is for the cost.
Xavier will go out to buy, say, 3 glass bottles and 2 vials.
Okay, so those would be the normal price cost.
Alright, so
I just figure out what fucking thing he is. He's an alchemist. He's an alchemist. I just realized that.
so you can pull out
I
8
should
gold
add
and
the
give it.
potatoes to my
Potatoes.
Alright,
potatoes.
I think along with a few probably buy beans. Some beans.
Beans!
That motherfucker eating beans. What the fuck?
Me some goddamn beans.
Pretty sure that's the only like I think or like plant-based protein I think comes from beans.
There's berries.
Do berries have protein?
Don't you want a fresh?
I don't know.
No.
Berries have protein.
I'm just saying, there's berries. You can
You don't want a
have
fresh can
berries,
of
but that's about
beans?
it.
Alright.
Hmm.
Anything else we can think of?
I'm set.
Right.
Do we have enough water skins for the journey?
So,
Hmm?
Each have like one each. I
Yeah.
would assume so, right?
easy enough to refill that.
Just make sure
Mhm.
you don't puncture it, and you should be fine.
Yeah, there's bodies of water all over in this region, so.
Only time you'll have to worry about is when you get down to Ilan Val. Very mountainous terrain there. Not very few of the bodies of water around. Unless you're underground, of course.
Could get a barrel filled with water. Probably want to get closer though, so it's not
Mm-hmm.
Like,
horribly stale.
well, there will be other towns we could probably like, if need be, we can get some from there.
Yeah, stop off, yeah.
Yeah. He turns to everyone like, "Are we all set, or?"
I'm ready.
Any last minute
I'm ready.
experiments?
Ready, check.
Mm-hmm.
He slowly puts up his hand. Ready.
So you guys gather your equipment together, load up the wagon, and with a whip of the reins, you start heading out of the city. As you say goodbye to Rochdale and start heading out for the first time onto your adventure proper. As you head on outward and start driving, who is the one who is going to be the one to be actually, manning the reins?
I'm
Don't look at me.
awful
I
with
don't have the
animals.
experience.
I know ships.
I'm
I
skipping
don't know
along.
anything else.
I'm not even in the car. I'm skipping with the cart.
By process of elimination, it is Lucas.
Animal handling check, please.
All right. I don't even have to look because I do not have it.
Maybe you should feed them one of the carrots.
Oh shoot, that one went off. That's a 7.
A 7? So,
A 7.
as you are riding along, you're about an hour out of the town when the horses just kind of veer off the side of the road and start wandering over to the nearest patch of grass to start eating, as they are just
Oh.
completely ignoring your little timid pulls and whips of the reins.
Come on, guys.
Can I try and convince them? Can I like go over to the side and just be like, "Come on, let's keep going."
Animal handling check and see how you do.
Can't tell if that's a 7 or a 1.
That's a 7.
7.
7.
8.
Ugh.
8.
Yep.
As you try to do this, one of them leans over. I still don't know which one's which, because you just pointed and said names.
The first, okay, the
No,
first one
which
is
one's
the
Mac?
first one that you mentioned is hamster, and the second one is
Okay,
macaroon.
so the brown,
brown
one is
one is
hamster, the
hamster.
black one
Yes.
is Mac.
Mm-hmm.
So, hamster would just reach over and tries to take a bite out of your hair.
Hey,
All
that's
right.
mean.
Let me give this a shot. Give me the damn reins.
He hands it over.
Grawl is just kind of sat to one side on the back of his velociraptor, just watching this.
12.
12?
11 plus the 1.
With a firmer hand, you whip the reins and they kind of startle a little and then kick back up into movement as they start heading onwards. As you continue the travels, day would slowly turn to night. As you guys can either one of you will gain a point of exhaustion, whoever has to ride, like continue to drive the car. Or you guys can saddle up for the night and everyone gets a full rest. For the record, I will not be doing every stay encounter unless one of you asks for something, for like roleplay reasons or whatever. Unless you guys run into an encounter or, some sort of event, I will basically just go between the days.
Whoa.
Okay, that's one thing I didn't set up. Whoopsie. The icon's supposed to have like a silhouette of light.
It's fine.
It's fine.
That was sick. That was great.
As you guys now have the choice of either settling down for the night or just taking turns at somebody having to stay up the night and gaining a point of exhaustion.
Alright, what do you guys think? Do you want to make camp for the night?
It's probably best.
Yeah.
Are there any bodies of water around?
No, you guys aren't that far from a lake. Like a small little lake.
Perfect.
Sounds actually rather nice.
It's stop there and camp.
It's
Sure.
So you guys pull off the road and head off to the side to maybe an hour's away to the lake that is just down from Redwick on Hill. It is a calm, peaceful night. You're in Seamus, and this is one of the safer places around. So the chances of running into trouble here, exceedingly slim. Even as you guys are staying up, you see lanterns going by as you would see a small group of around three Towns Guard just slowly riding along the path between Redwick and Hill and Rochdale. As, they obviously do kind of like routine movements back and forth. They'll spend a good time heading around. They'll basically hire people to go along the paths, essentially. So it's generally quite safe in Seamusern. So you guys are able to have a meal. Ema, I believe you said you were going to be cooking.
Very crudely.
So give me a survival check.
Oh God. Yeah, this is when I poisoned the whole
Can
party.
I help him out with the cooking?
Please.
Yeah. So you are giving them the assist action, so that means you are now at advantage.
Punch my deck. Okay,
18.
so that's a okay. Okay, so that's a 19 right there. And that's a 21.
21?
21.
For what is supposed to be a simple soup, it is warming. It is gentle to eat, and it has this nice little bit of like spice at the back that just keeps it that. Oh, it's so good as it is now entering the rainy season. So, it is
the recipe for
perfect.
As he's cooking, like he stops him from like putting in like an ingredient and like use this during that.
All right, sure. You see him like he's just healing the potatoes just for dagger. Tossing them in.
Shada's off
Right.
dancing in the water by the lake.
I'm
But she's just
gonna
dancing
quickly
in the water. It's fine.
I'm gonna rejoin the world. I'll be back.
Creepy sort of ways. He's just sat breathing and watching everyone with these eyes that are just like glowing silver in the dark.
That's
We
not
probably picked
unsettling.
like the sturdiest guy, but I didn't didn't really think about having to share a
Do
bunk
you
with him. It's amazing.
sleep?
As you ask that, he is slowly breathing in and out, but not moving.
You asleep?
Oh, he's asleep. Yeah.
I
He's
don't like
asleep.
how he sleeps.
I
As you
do.
watch as one of his eyes slowly closes and then reopens, as if just to moisturize that eye. As it's like, he's still awake, but half of his brain is essentially turned off to sleep.
I hate
Fascinating.
everything about it.
Fascinating. Xavier will just start
Can
walking
I-
up to just sort of like research, I
hate it.
suppose, his state, breathing, movement, eyes, yes, and start jotting everything
Nature
down
check.
he can. Nature, okay.
Can I make a flower crown?
Yeah, it's easy enough. You've done it a
Okay,
million
nice.
times over.
+5.
And I
Shit.
want to put it on his head.
You set it right between his eyes.
Fuck. God damn it.
Yes.
Fuck, I can't. I don't know.
6. It's a 6.
That's
It's
six.
a 6 plus 5, so 11.
You realize why you're
Damn.
so high, you're so tall right now, is because you're a good, like, half a foot off the ground. There you go.
Stand up again.
He'd be the same size as me.
Oh.
There you go.
Alright.
So, what did he say you got?
11.
11? As you are
Yeah.
examining him, you know, you're listening to the breathing, and it's like that sort of, like, alligator-style gurgle when he breathes out. As you're kind of examining him, and you just gently kind of poke the side of his maw with just this stick that you had picked up. As you do, there is suddenly this snap turn, as I'm going to need you to make a dex saving throw.
Ah, shit.
Oh no. This is how he dies.
How he loses his
Gonna
hand.
bite his head off.
Oh fuck.
3.
Fuck. Ah.
+1, so 4.
Oh no.
Oh,
Four.
goddamn. That was bad.
Oh no. Just pulled out the dice.
You
Oh no.
take 4 points. You take 4 points of damage as that maw, that rows of teeth, just suddenly whip and snap down on your hand.
Ah, fuck. Ah.
Well,
And with that, he's
Egghead,
awake
how was
because
that?
he's just like,
What's going on?
You fell asleep.
And this dumbass poked you with a stick.
Technically a finger,
No,
but
For someone so
My
smart,
right
you're
hand.
For someone so smart,
badly is he
you're an
bleeding?
actual idiot.
4 points of damage worth. He's got these gnarly row bite mark in his hand, both top and bottom.
Why? Why did it have to be the right
So-
hand? I could have
Go
coped
what
put
with
in
did
some
we
one.
learn?
water. You'll be fine.
What did
But
we
it was
learn?
It was all in the pursuit of knowledge.
maybe you should sit down.
Does anyone have any cause? Anything?
He reaches
Yeah.
down
I got
and
a
rips
torch.
off some of his shorts, and then just
I have
starts to
some leather.
wrap it as lazily.
I could have used a
It'll
spell.
be fine.
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 What's magic on
So,
this?
Egghead,
Okay.
what did we learn?
That knowledge is worth it. I gotta
No,
write this
never
down.
to poke a sleeping crocodile. Idiot.
Where's my pen? Grabs pen with.
Shayna's gonna walk over to you and is gonna cast Cure Wounds. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how the Sorry, I'm struggling here. I'm sorry. Creature, a 1d8 plus my spellcasting ability modifier. Okay, so which one is my 1d8 again? What's my
1d8 is this one.
Okay.
Double-sided pyramid.
Just trying to make sure it was my spell modifier. My
Your
spell
wisdom
modifier is. Wait, is that my my?
Hmm?
I'm sorry, I'm really bad at this.
Yeah, it's fine. So that'd be
fine.
whatever your wisdom.
Is that the spell attack
plus is.
bonus?
Yes.
Okay. 3. 6.
6.
Mhm.
So you're healed back to full.
Pain's gone now. I still gotta write this
See?
down.
You're welcome.
It wasn't so bad.
Thank you. You'll just see Xavier with the book in his left hand and his quill in his teeth, just sort of writing down sloppy notes still.
Wow. Rude
Down.
and stupid, but also smart. Interesting. I should write this
dedicated.
down.
And dedicated.
Hey,
Are you doing okay?
Yeah, just in future, don't poke me while I'm sleeping, because I'm not quite asleep.
What about flower crowns? Can I put them on?
As long as you're not touching my mouth, yeah.
Enjoy the one you've got on right now.
Oh. Oh.
And she's just gonna go back and sit down and be content.
Adrian, seeing everyone's fine, he's actually going to climb to the back of the wagon. Gonna cozy himself up, sit down, gonna pull out his book, and with a snap of his fingers and a little puff of nondescript smoke, I'm going to summon my owl. Light brown, so some darker flecks in there. Brown owl. Gonna perch her up on his shoulder. And the way he's there's no light in the back of the wagon, so he's almost like holding the book up for her to read as he flips the pages for her. He just kind of like nods every now and then. And in the back of the wagon, I'm going to start rolling the bones on the floor of the wagon. And I'm going to see
Okay.
what I see.
All right. Give a.
So I'm going to be there for
Is-
a while.
Yeah. This is
said
just.
it's an hour,
this is
yeah?
just for.
I'm
this
gonna-
is just for the normal viewing. This isn't for the other view.
Let's make
Is
it
this you
interesting.
ritual casting it for
I'm
the s-
I'm
for
gonna
the,
I'm
for
gonna
the,
I'm
for
gonna spend the
chance,
full hour
or-
to get the chance.
Okay. So give us a 1d20.
Let's get an omen of this group. So yeah, Adrian's just gonna disappear into the back of the wagon for a full hour. So you let me know whenever this completes, Mr. DM. And that is a. Can't really see that actually.
Looks like a 9.
That's a 9.
Yeah, it's a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Can I bother him or no? I'm not allowed to like sneak up
It's
after
up
like
to
when
you
you're finished.
if you choose to bother him. He is sit cross-legged, book on one side, owl on the other. Owl you haven't seen before. And in front of him is just the circle of like animal bones. There's like a femur, a rib. You think you see like a mouse skull. Just random array.
I'm gonna sneak up behind you and scare you, or try and scare you at least. Would I need to make a stealth check for that?
Yeah, stealth check from you, perception check from
Can
you.
that be okay? Well, would it be my passive or an active check? Because
Does that count?
Spell.
Yeah, so it'd be a
Yeah,
passive
that
then.
counts.
Yeah.
Okay.
That counts. It's on the table.
Okay.
Alright.
That's a
What
9.
was
So
it?
you-
That's a
so
9.
what's your stealth
Mhm.
then?
So that's a 9. 11.
Meets.
Oh shit, we both got 11?
Meets it, beats it. Sir, you sneak up.
Yes!
Actually, wait. No, because I'm perceiving with the owl right now in the dark.
What's its
So
passive
that's a 13,
perception?
actually. That's a 13.
Fuck! Why are you doing this to me?
So Adrian
Kick.
is eyes closed, cross-legged, but
I'll pick
as soon
you
as you climb in, the owl turns its head just straight on you.
She's like,
You just...
Oh.
You
Okay.
need something.
What are you
Adrian's still
doing?
facing down at the bones. I'm just... Do you believe in fate?
You're gonna have to repeat that. Sorry.
Do you believe in fate?
Yes.
Sit down.
oh, okay. It's gonna sit like a like where the just away like on the other side where the bird is, just like.
Oh, this is Destiny.
Who? Sorry.
She doesn't bite. This is Destiny.
Oh,
She doesn't bite, so feel free.
I see.
She makes a soft hoot as she sits there.
So do you further disrupt in any way, or
She's questioning what you're doing.
'cause he just goes
basically.
back to it. At the moment, he's literally just staring at this small gathering of bones. He's kind of muttering something under his breath, and every now and then he'll like pick up two and then kind of just toss them back into the pile.
Sir, with the fact you have ritual casted, you did not get the effect because you didn't roll a 19 or 20,
Okay.
but you do get a glimpse of something that will happen in the future. The immediate future.
Oh.
As you see bread in your future. Lots of
Yes.
bread. And weird bread.
Weird bread? Oh god.
Yes. Wait, Fred.
What that means, you don't know, but lots of bread and weird bread.
What constitutes weird bread?
Adrian's gonna cock his head and kind of like chuckle a little.
What's so
Alright.
funny?
He's gonna gather the bones and put it back into his little purse. I suppose that we've settled on dinner. Or maybe a snack.
Huh?
Maybe breakfast.
Okay. I have no idea what you just did, but it looks cool.
Well. It's ready right now, but tell you what. Remind me a bit later. I'll read you a fortune sometime.
Oh, okay.
It's just, it's weird describing it, people, actually. Yeah, I roll the bones, tried using cards once, wasn't really for me, though.
Ah, I see.
I've heard some people use just a ball. It's kind of ponder an orb of some sort, but it sounds a little...
You can't call yourself a great mage unless you pondered the orb.
Fuck's sake.
No.
I'm
I
gonna smile
see.
and nod.
She's going to get up. And she's going to walk towards. Like, she's finished the conversation now with you.
Mhm.
She's.
You're just done.
She's. Yeah, she's just done. She
Okay.
just gets up, walks away.
I'm just gonna
She walks towards
go
you, though.
back to turning pages
Well,
for destiny in my book.
He is going to be laying down, his legs crossed, looking up at the sky, picking at his teeth with a piece of grass.
She's going to pick you up.
Angry otter noises.
Alright then.
Adorable
she's going to walk
squealing
to-
commences.
And she's going to turn. She's going to turn you so you're looking towards the camp. And she's going to walk towards the lake and
What
try
are you
and throw
doing,
you in.
Put me down.
Oh shoot, my thing's
Here you
dying.
go.
Oh, there it goes. I'm back.
Splash.
I'm sure he'll be fine. He's not gonna die.
You splash into the water. It
He
is,
doesn't come back up. He's just,
I wouldn't say cold, but you're used to the cold.
he just doesn't come back up.
She turns
Not even
around and walks away.
Under the
It's
water,
fine.
you just see her turn around and walk away, not a care given.
Swim back up. What the fuck? Just now he's soaked. He's just grumbling to himself, walking back to the camp. Throw me in there and not even care. Kill me. Just
Wet.
go.
Wet noises from
do
the
you-
clothes.
Do you want help with
But I
that?
was actually, as a player, I was actually kind of hoping that the otter couldn't swim.
Oh my god.
Well,
Do you want
I'm
help
sorry.
with that?
no. Otter noises. Aggressive, angry otter noises.
Okay.
I just hear pairs
Sit-
of platypus.
Just sit,
I
sit
don't know
just
what otters
sits in
sound
front
like.
of the
Squeak,
sits in front of the
squeak,
campfire.
Squeaks. Really
Yeah, I'm
cute
gonna get
squeaking
a-
noises.
I'm gonna get a soundboard so I can just play otter noises.
Amazing.
That would be fun.
Also, so can I pick? You know, with my druid craft, I keep saying druid craft. Am I allowed
What?
to pick where I could? Can I do it within a? I think it's a 30-foot radius.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use it again? I'm pretty sure I can.
It's a cantrip, so I'm pretty sure it's like
It's a cantrip,
unlimited.
so you can just
Good.
yeah.
Use it however
Okay,
long you
good.
want.
Then I'm gonna make the same. I'm gonna make the same smell, but behind him.
He's just sitting there, the campfire soaked.
You once again, the smell of that fart slowly wafts through the camp.
What the hells is that? He's gonna look around like, where's it coming from?
Adrian's at the wagon. He's not there.
Lucas is somewhere a little bit off. He's not right next to you.
Xavier is sitting behind the wagon, just sort of muttering to himself while there's something on
So
his
the-
shoulder with his book open.
So the closest person to the campfire is Growl, who's just sat there in that half asleep daze.
I love this.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind the smell. Excuse you as well.
It's just angry otter noises. It's just angry, aggressive otter noises.
Shada's gonna get up, look at you, go, excuse you, please remember to, apologise after yourself. I'm just gonna turn around and walk away.
Now they're just confused and angry otter noises. Like, what are you talking about?
She's bullying him.
She's crazy.
Relentlessly.
So much
That's
bullying.
crazy.
Anything else you guys want to do, or are you guys heading for bed?
Yeah.
We'll pass out.
Bad.
He's gonna
curl up in a ball and just lay by the fire.
Adrian's going to pass out, holding his owl.
Okay. Who else is sleeping outside of the car?
Me. I'm not even sleeping on like any bed rolls or anything. I'm literally just lying in the ground like doing star shapes.
Okay. So,
He's Lucas is just laying next to the cart.
okay. Sorry, my computer is exploding slightly, so I'm just trying to
All good.
fix my
Oh.
overlay and everything. So, the nighttime gently ends as morning would come. As those who have slept outside would wake to the feeling of water.
Uh-oh.
As the morning has come, and with it, rain. As you feel the showers rolling across, as it is the rainy season, after all. So those outside, I would like you... Actually, you don't have to. You're outside, so roll as a Constitution saving throw. And anyone
Shoot,
else who
my
is
thing
not
is not working.
in the cart asleep, because you guys didn't get tents.
Constitution.
Yes.
Constitution?
Anyone in the tent is okay. In the cart is okay. Anyone
Natural
not?
20. Yes, let's go.
Of course.
17.
22.
Okay, hold on. That's a 12.
For a
Oh, that
split
counts
second,
for
I thought
12.
you'd all gotten fucking 20s then. Jesus.
I got a 13.
18.
18?
18.
Okay. Generally,
Wow.
everyone did fine sleeping in the rain as that had come down, but you, Oracle, as Shiana, lays there in the rain, you get this pang in your chest as you wake up, as it feels like you're almost back in the Feywild again. For that brief moment, you have that kind of longing for home before it fades, as you realize you are not in the Feywilds. There is no Archfey keeping careful watch over you. You're in a strange place with a bunch of strangers.
Do you mind if I make a quick roll to see how much she remembers from yesterday?
History check.
Oh boy, let's see. Oh, that was a really shit roll. Can I re-roll that? Because I kind of just went by that. So.
The dice just floated in air for me.
Or do you want
I
me to
did
still take this one?
I did not see it, so you guys, did it look like a plop?
Because it
I
did feel
don't
like
know.
really
The
watching.
dice
I did
froze
that.
in midair for me, and then it just dropped, and then it was just on the map. So
Oh, if it went straight down, then that was probably a plop, because, there
Yeah,
would have
so
been
just
some movement.
Do it
So,
again.
yeah, re-roll
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
No one's complaining.
Yeah. Generally, if
There you
I
go.
don't see it
That
and
was a
everyone
good
gives a
one.
consensus,
I got an 8.
Yeah.
What's my history? 9.
9,
Okay. Yeah.
you remember eating some of your cheese wheel. You remember Buff Alligator Man. And you remember the smell of farts.
Great,
Of
thank you.
course.
Great.
Oh, one detail I forgot. God, I'm terribly sorry. There's one detail I forgot. When you were handed that scroll with the information on the quest, you were also given wooden version of the badges that the other people were wearing. So they denote,
okay.
that you are a
Okay.
trial member, essentially.
Adrian would have it on over by his right shoulder, on his shirt under the cloak. Then we could just
Okay.
flash it.
dramatic badge flash.
Yeah, exactly. Out of the way when I don't want it to be there, but convenient when I do.
Hooked to his belt. He would just have it hooked to his belt. Just
like he would have it like probably all on his like left shoulder, like pinned like on his cloak.
Yeah, like police badge style.
Yeah, like
Really do know where I'm putting mine. Like right here, just gonna just like try and slot it there. So
Amazing.
there you go.
Clip it to the belt. You clip it to the little loop.
There you go. Yeah.
Jesus. Xavier just have it like clumsily strung onto his collar, or the collar of his coat.
Just kind of bounces around as the collar moves.
Yep.
This is so inconvenient.
Actually, Dicidius, quickly. Would I remember these guys? Just question. Just would I remember these guys?
With your low history roll, you can remember one of them. Roll me a 1d4.
Oh fuck.
Amazing.
Is it this one?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea how to read from that. So.
Just-
Oh no, that
top,
doesn't do it.
top face
Oh.
is the roll. So you know the top of the pyramid.
I would just
It's
Do it again.
toss it back your way.
Do it
You
again.
didn't, you didn't
Do
roll
it again.
so
Yeah, no, it landed on the. It landed on.
yeah,
over
no,
here,
I know.
so
I was grabbing
tossing
it, but
back
they
towards
you picked it up and
One.
it froze.
Oh,
one.
I didn't see you.
One.
One. So that
Cool.
means you remember Lucas.
Oh yeah.
You remember
Okay, good.
timid little Lucas.
Give me a second. I'm taking my full body for it. I don't want it to like fully die.
As soon as it starts to pour, he will jump into the cart. By the way, I'll be right
You-
back. I gotta do some.
Clamber into the car as the rain's just properly starting up.
All right. So I'm not soaked at all.
You're wet, not soaked.
All right. That will dry easily. All right. I'll be right back.
Oh. Oh.
Well,
Morning.
No longer full
Oh, he's
body.
gone. Okay.
Shayna is currently looking around, going, "Who are these people?"
Of course, she's insane.
You don't hear me.
insane.
She's just thinking that.
Oh.
She's like, "Who are these people?" She hasn't said anything to you guys yet.
Oh,
I don't know what causes such a condition. Short memory
Uh,
loss.
are you going to apologize?
Long
what?
term.
You threw me in the water. You're going to apologize for
No,
that.
I didn't.
Yes, you did. You picked me
No,
up.
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I would have remembered.
He's going to squint at you.
Hmm?
What game are you playing, woman?
I mean, we could play I Spy. Lucas, he just fucking
Sorry.
flashed in front of me. What the fuck?
Sorry, my bad.
You threw me in that water. I didn't dream it. Part of my pants are still wet. Wait,
It could be the rain.
I just realized it was raining.
Or you could
Are
have
you
just
sure you
accidentally
got
wet
thrown in the
yourself.
lake?
Did I?
Yeah,
Did I
you could have
just
just wet
dream?
yourself.
Give us a wisdom check.
Oh, I don't like the look of that. That's a 4. Hold on. It would be a 5.
Jesus Christ.
5.
Amazing.
a dream? I'm starting to really think maybe it was a dream. Why would somebody just toss you in a lake like that? It doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Forget I said anything.
She can't keep getting away with this.
Yes, I can.
Someone's always got away with this shit.
I'm gonna cast Druidcraft again, and I'm gonna do the fart thing again to him.
I hate it here.
Give us a sleight of hand, because I do believe it does have. I think it's somatic components at the very least.
Yeah.
And you give a perception check to see if you can beat out her sleight of hand.
And there's actually something I would like to do. Once we, while they're fucking around like
20.
this while she's harassing him.
No bullshit.
Hold on, what was it? You said perception?
Perception versus sleight of hand.
I got a 20.
18.
Like a dirty 20?
15.
God damn.
Like a dirty 20?
Dirty 20, yeah.
Nice.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, make sure to remember if it's a day 20 or a natural 20, because
Okay, it's a dirty 20. Oh,
Oh my god, he's
oh,
dead.
he's gone.
Oh no!
I killed him. I killed him with the farts.
I can't believe you.
I can't believe you done
I
this.
can't believe you did.
Every now and then the gods will speak to us through the map.
Yes.
Alright,
so yes, terribly sorry about all this. Yes, you got
No,
away
that's
with the
fine.
Don't worry
fart.
about it. Yes.
can't
You
believe-
shit yourself.
as they're fucking around, I would actually like to attempt something.
No.
Okay.
I would like to roll a sleight of hand check myself.
Ooh.
All right, go for it.
And because I keenly remember a certain pen tucked behind her ear.
Oh yeah, and she's completely
Yeah, she's
forgotten
still
about that
there.
thing.
Yeah.
Even Oracle actually forgot about it.
Funny enough, I think that's a fail. That
I
is
think it's is that a 2? I think it's the backwards 2.
Is that a backwards
Yeah,
2?
That's a 2.
Or is
That's
it a 3?
That's the
I can't
legendary
tell.
actions too.
You have a backwards 2? Okay, well that's a 5.
It's a meme basically.
Okay.
Essentially, way back in the day, I made
Well,
the
it confused
original
me, so
die.
good job.
I made the original die for the map, and I had put the UV wrong on the 2, and it took us quite a while to notice the fact that the 2 was backwards. So when it finally happened,
Amazing.
we took note of that, and ever since then we have decided, hey, it's just a feature now. So every time we make new die, the 2 is backwards.
Okay, well, does a 7 beat your passive perception?
How do I check? Oh,
It'll
it
say
should
Your
be-
your
passive
stat block
perception is
under
just
concentration.
under your main stats.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing
what, sorry?
yes.
oh, what? Sorry.
A 7.
No.
So, and just find Adrian, I guess, just kind of like awkwardly reaching towards, what was it, your right side?
Yeah. My
Yeah.
right side.
You're just
Yeah.
reaching up.
Just
a
there,
lot
like.
of height.
So it's like,
Hmm?
you have something.
Ooh! Pretty. She's gonna walk off with it.
Oh great.
She's
yay.
forgotten the conversation with him.
But
You should pro.
I'm convinced she's insane. I'm convinced she's insane.
What, you're just finding out?
I think that's a fact at this point.
Oh wow, you're all thinking I'm insane. Wait till I fucking kill you all.
We're not saying you're normal.
Alright, I have no other actions I wish to attempt before we resume
Alright,
travel.
We should probably
Got away with it.
resume. Did you?
Actually, am I allowed to prep? Because we had was that a long rest?
Yes.
That was a full night's rest. That was 9 hours.
Okay, so
The
that means
spells
I
back
can
and
prepare.
such.
Okay, I was gonna say, so
You can
that means I
prepare
can
other
prepare
spells,
some
yes.
new ones. Perfect. Yes. Perfect.
You hear nothing.
I hear what sounds like breaking bones.
You cracking your knuckles?
Yeah.
I had a feeling.
Wow.
Oh.
Really loud.
How far are we from the nearest town?
A
You
day
are.
backward.
You're 2 days away from Redwick on Hill. Because remember, now you're on cart. Each of these hexes is a day's worth of 2 of those hexes is a day's worth of travel on cart.
Okay.
Hmm. Throughout the ride, Lucas is gonna take out cards from his box and then just shuffle them.
What do you play?
Nothing. I needed something to do when I'm nervous.
Oh, I have
Thank you.
cards too.
She's just gonna. Oh god, this is bad.
Oh
She's gonna
god.
pull out her her deck. They
I
don't.
love the
I don't-
idea that you completely forgot who everyone was, but you still decided to continue to travel with us.
I remember that it's still the only round I remember. So,
Amazing.
what does the deck look like? Does it look different to just a normal deck of cards?
Which one's this one? Is it the Dragon Anti set?
The deck of illusions.
Oh, Deck of Illusions. The Deck of Illusions has some nice filigree on it, but to the outside observer, it seems, I believe, to just look like a deck of cards.
Okay. I have my own deck.
That's cool.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Want to play something?
I'm more of a dice person
Nah.
myself.
Okay.
What we use to pass time on
Pop
the
that
ship.
back into a bag.
No? Okay. Why? I guess I'm just keep reading.
Who are you again?
Oh, Adrian.
Have you forgotten who we
Oh.
are?
It's fine.
I've never met you before.
Myself.
We met yesterday.
We all met
Did we?
yesterday.
Yes, at the Adventurers Guild.
Oh. Well, I'm Shayna. Hi.
I'm
Hi,
aware you had several names and you didn't have a preference.
J or S or
Oh, yeah.
Shay Shay.
yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Alright, so I guess
Okay.
we're reintroducing ourselves. I'm Gil.
Yes.
Gil
Gil.
Sharkslayer.
Adrian. Lucas.
Who's he?
Oh, that's Xavier.
Egghead.
Egghead.
Egghead. Okay.
And I'm Grawl. Nice to meet you.
Growl. I remember you.
Oh,
pats at the
You're very
snout
sweet.
a little, just-
Oh, thank you.
We're the same size.
He looks eye level to the tips of your horns and goes,
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So great.
Freakishly tall.
Hmm.
What?
Hmm?
What?
Huh?
What?
What? I
What?
I didn't say anything. Angry, aggressive otter
My
noises.
cheese.
Angry.
Oh, the cheese again.
Would you like some?
Xavier is just sort of in the corner,
fine,
muttering to
thank
himself, muttering to something on his shoulder, while discussing his notes.
Oh,
He has not
actually,
been paying
yeah.
attention.
That would be
You need help
good
figuring something
for
out.
you. It's okay. Don't worry.
Why? Why wouldn't it be good for me? It's just cheese.
Yeah, but cheese is
You make a good point, okay.
bad for creatures.
Do you think
I
I'm...
can't eat cheese.
I mean, turn him up to him.
See?
Okay?
I've eaten cheese
Pretty
before,
efficient,
I'm
Travis, what
fine.
we need. Plenty of
Insight check on that.
Is he lying?
Inside
Is he lying? Is he lying?
Let's go. Wait, does that count again? Oh, God damn it, I need to stop
That's
throwing
it.
it like that.
That's on the,
Yeah,
on the
that's
board.
an
That's an 8. That's an 8.
It is an
Okay.
8.
9.
Oof.
9?
Yes.
You can't feed cheese to animals.
Nah.
Are you a druid with only a +1 wisdom?
Yes.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
my god!
This is gonna be fun.
Charisma is where it's at.
We've got
I
another
love her.
strength build,
I
no
love
dex
her.
ranger.
Oh my god, we're all gonna die, but I love her.
What do you...
She's big, she's pretty, and she's full of stupid.
Yes.
What do you think I am?
For the record, that's the
An
face of the
otter.
party.
Hi.
I...
I mean,
Otterfolk.
Yes. An otter.
No, not just an otter. Otterfolk.
Yes. An otter.
I mean, she's not technically wrong.
I'll show you technically when I smack you in the face with my tail. Then you wouldn't be
Oh.
technically be hurting.
Hmm.
Well,
Because I can't
We're
reach you
traveling right now, aren't we?
now.
You'd have to jump
Just making
up quite
sure.
a
no,
great height
no,
to do
you're not
that.
traveling right now.
We have
you know what?
I wonder if I can.
we
wonder if
we
I
should
can
probably
remember
get
that
going,
one.
guys.
Yeah.
The entire trip
idea.
is gonna be like this.
Good idea, Lucas. Good idea.
It's gonna be the otter getting bullied and then him abusing everyone in turn.
That was quite uncalled for.
It's really
Uncalled for, yes, uncalled for, egghead.
Wow.
Why do you
We
seem
should
so
get
sad?
going.
Yeah, we should get going.
I agree, we should be leaving. Who's going to have a hand at the horses this time, or should I?
Me.
The only capable... Oh. So you're going to sit on the front of the wagon and lead the
Yeah.
horses.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess everybody pack up your shit.
Do you know where we're going?
Where?
Oh,
I will sit up front with her to navigate.
Growl just
Probably
climbs up
for the
onto
best.
his Rex, his Velociraptor-like creature, and just kind of turns and just starts going.
Hood's up so he doesn't get wet, and he's going to dispel Destiny for now so she doesn't get wet.
She just disappears in this flurry of little feathers and smirk.
So I actually
We're all going to die.
from around here, if we keep on going down that road, we'll be on Redwick in probably a day or two.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
She had like a.
Okay.
She's like, so she was kind of like going. Oh, I was meant to go up there. Oh, I thought I was gonna walk with the horses. Okay, that's fine then. She just jumps up with onto the bench and just sits down. So
Her sitting
She
there,
had that
it is like when you see an adult sitting in like a primary school chair. Like her knees are up to her chest as she's just sat there, like arms between it, just like whip. As you guys start heading on, as the roads are calm and the day winds on, you guys are able to travel on through. With only another rest stop, you are able to the next day over. So this has been two nights of travel. You would arrive at Redwick on Hill. It is a beautiful little town, set on the edge of a little brook. It has these set of large water wheels that gently turn and groan with the sounds of windmills also filling the air. The rain has finally abated, as there is the gentle sound of the brook. The town is very welcoming and very beautiful. Farms cut this landscape. Wheats gently blow in the breeze back and forth, creating this almost wave of shimmering gold that stretches on. You would see areas where other produce are farmed. This area seems to be more for cultivation than actual animal handling in this area. As you would see, the farms that make up the area around the town of Redwick on Hill mostly deal in apples, potatoes, wheats, barleys, things like this. As you enter into the town, you would see the place is fairly welcoming. You see a few people, like give you waves and things like this. As you pull into the town, you would see just at the other side there is this bridge that goes over the lake. As you would see what appears to be another adventuring band heading off their own way. As you would see another cart kind of just gently going over that bridge. As you would actually give us a perception check, just a general perception check from everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, what was my perception? I think it was like
5. Level 1. Level 1.
dirty 20.
17 at what? Yeah, I was gonna say dirty 20 as well.
Day 20.
Dirty 20.
Day 20.
Fucking, God. What's it? 13, 14, and
14.
14 and 9.
10.
10. So you two, you're too busy paying attention to the fact that you're, driving the car. The rest of you, however, you would see, you would actually notice the familiar sight of an Aarakocra in the back of the cart, as they seem to have this like hold crate that they have got to one side of their cart as they seem to be heading just out of the town and onwards. As you guys pull in to stop, you would pass by. It's a fairly small area to saddle up the cart and that. This isn't a big city or anything. It's a small town. And as you come to a stop, you would see that it has like an inn, what appears to be some sort of granary, a building that has this logo for like a symbol for bread on the front of it, printed in this big, large symbol, as well as what appears to be some sort of small like postal service near the center of the town in this little forked crossroad would be a billboard sign that you would see has a bunch of Adventurers Guild notices currently on them.
Oh, have you ever been here?
Hmm?
Have you ever been here?
No.
All right, pull us over. Pull us over here. You're in Redwick. You have to at least try it. He's gonna direct it towards the bakery.
As you dramatically pull the reins, the horses kind of go "Ugh!" as you pull them to a stop near the bakery. Now, you've known this bakery for quite some time. They make some of the best bread around in Seamersen that is delivered to like all over the place. The like somewhat large wooden building stands there with its symbol proudly displayed up front.
Adrian's gonna disembark and I figured if we're going to be traveling, having a lot of soup, maybe some buns, really good. Also, if you guys want to try something, some good stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna go in. Yeah.
I'm coming in.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys are all invited too. You okay?
Should someone be watching the
Alright.
cards, though?
Oh, it'll just tie the horses. Fine.
Here you go.
It's like holding the reins out to you.
I will tie the horses.
As you tie them to it, it's Redwick on Hill. You pretty much know everyone here, so you know no one's gonna steal from you.
And he's gonna have his hood down. He was the weird kid, but he stayed out of trouble. All right.
Bread.
Oh, yeah, let's go in. Bread. Yeah. Yeah.
So you enter inside. You enter on inside, and there is a front desk as you enter in. Behind it and in front of it are a bunch of small displays with bits of bread and such, visible. Some of it smaller on the sides of more like pastries and things like this. But the rest is primarily to do with bread. Bunch of different types, like tiger bread, hedgehog bread, a bunch of different styles and variety as you enter in, and that fresh smell just gently wafts in. Something that you do take note of, though, is the very large steel door to the right that is currently open, that goes off into another room. And it looks like almost two steel doors that are built together as almost like a vault door into this other room. As you enter in, the person behind the desk kind of perks up and goes, "Oh, great, more adventurers! Are you here to do some of the testing as well?"
testing?
Yes.
Sure. Yes.
No?
Oh, that's
Absolutely.
great. If you're willing to do the tests, we're willing to give you
Yes.
some gold back for it. You just need to sign some
Gold.
forms as liable waivers, just to make sure that you don't get any bother from
My
any
friend, you had
risk
me at
that could
gold.
be involved.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyone who's willing, just come over here, and he pulls out some papers and sets them down.
Can I insight this contract?
Sure. It would be intelligence check because you have.
I'm gonna read this over with him.
Yeah, I'm fucking
So
reading
at
this thing.
advantage because you're being assisted.
Where's my dice? Oh, it's over there. Is
Right
it just
there.
pure intelligence?
Yeah.
Or
I'm
okay.
gonna read separately. I'm gonna read it separately from him.
Okay.
Oh shoot.
I'll roll my own. Okay.
Xavier will be inspecting the contract himself to make sure everything is
I
in
can
order.
grab the fucking dice.
Gil just
Shayna's
doesn't care.
just
He-
yeah.
11
Shayna's already
plus
written her
3,
name.
14?
Yeah. So was Gil.
14.
They
Said
14.
gold. Gil was like, okay.
14.
Yeah.
And that's a 19 plus 5. That's just
Same 14 as
Damn. Damn.
that's one,
So you guys would
24.
be able to read that this contract, signs away any liability to request compensation in any cases that include malformations, crippling disability, or death that may occur due to the bread test.
What kind of bread test is this?
It doesn't
Well,
matter. It's bread.
Gold.
We've got some.
It's like a taste
We've got some
test.
taste tests with some breads that are magically imbued.
Magically imbued, you say?
Oh.
I have a question.
Why am I not surprised?
If I'm to eat this bread, can I put stuff with it?
Well, we'd like you to eat just the bread because, we want to make sure the test's done fairly.
But having bread on its own is stale.
This is fresh bread you're getting.
Pulls out the wheel of cheese, please.
Well,
She has
as
a
long
thing
as
for
you
cheese.
as
You
long
don't
as you
want, like, a
have one
cracker?
bite, as long as you have one bite of the bread just on its own, then I guess you can put some cheese on top.
Perfect.
Puts the cheese back in her bag.
Yeah, like,
Do you
Yeah,
know
looks a little
my
confused.
dad hear you say it?
I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
The worst, you say?
Really like this place. Okay.
from
It's-
this,
it's-
apparently
Yes.
death.
I
He
think
looks at the contract.
Oh,
Apparently
yay.
death.
Yay.
It could be
Okay.
anywhere from that.
How can I start?
Well, if you're interested, we're offering, depending on how many pieces of bread you eat, it's about 5 gold per piece of bread. No, sorry, 10 gold per piece of bread you eat, and essentially, if you're willing, you just sign on the waiver here, and then you head on in.
I've already signed.
Points to the big steel door room.
He looks to the
I'm
other
walking
the
there.
other two who read the contract.
Adrian has a
I'm
good
welcome.
feeling about this, and he's gonna write down his name.
Okay.
Suppose.
If you're
Xavier whips out a quill
What?
and writes down his
Wait.
name.
Why do we need to go into the big steel? What's behind the steel doors?
oh, now you're questioning.
The test room.
Why do you need the test room behind big steel doors?
Just in case.
In case for what? What kind of bread are you making?
Magic bread.
The best kind.
Magic bread.
Let's go.
Magic.
What can
magic
it
bread.
do what can it do that requires big steel doors?
Kill us,
Mm,
apparently.
just in case.
Again. Again,
Don't
kill us.
worry, don't worry. We phased out the bread that caused magic explosions. We've cleared that up. There's none of that in the batches anymore.
Okay, let me try.
Can I insight check that? Can I insight check that?
I walk.
She's already gone.
Adrian's
She is already
Adrian's
gone through.
inside. Adrian's smiling and he's
Bread.
inside.
We
Inside the
get
room, there's
bread.
some
Bread.
chairs,
I told you.
some tables, like bench style,
Bread.
as
Yeah.
well as four or five like slots in the wall that looks like they can lower down trays with the food on into the room.
Interesting. Okay.
Alright, I
Did he-
suppose I'll just scribble his name.
What did you
I got a 19.
19?
Just in
You
Yeah.
would know
case.
that they are pretty. He's pretty sure that they have removed it from circulation.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
He's 99. He's 99%. Like, he sighs and like,
Just,
I already signed.
just in case.
I already signed, so he just
Adrian's
walks.
gonna pop mage armor on himself.
I don't have that. I don't have that yet. Damn it.
So as you guys enter in, as you guys
So
enter in,
Adrian
after
has this
signing,
like slight shimmer to him.
as you guys enter in, after you're all in, you would hear the as the doors closed behind you.
Oh god, we're gonna die here. I should have signed
Yes.
that damn paper. We're gonna
It'll
die
be
here.
fine.
Yes, we
I
are.
guess that's that then.
You're no help.
I know. Who are you again? I'm joking. I know
Otter.
who you are.
Otter.
All right, egghead. I get it.
Who?
That's your name, right?
Ah,
Egghead.
yes,
That's
that
what they
is- That
said.
is his name, Egghead.
That's what they
His
said.
name is
Those
Egghead.
two right there.
No, I did not say that.
Yes, you
His
did.
name is indeed Egghead.
You told me. You agreed.
Oh,
Mhm.
told you about bread yesterday.
I know you told me his name was Egghead.
That is.
That happened.
Well,
that did
if
happen.
And you
his
agreed.
name's Xavier.
I said his
Xavier.
name.
No, it's Egghead. He's lying. It's Egghead.
Can I make an
That's
insight
alcohol
on
earlier,
who's
didn't you?
lying? I would like to make an insight on who's lying.
Go.
You know, our lives could be on the line right now, but I just want to see who's lying to me, okay?
Deception check from you, Jack, because you are lying.
Okay.
12.
13.
Let's see. Hold on.
That is 15.
Amazing.
Yeah, so even unless your modifiers are -3,
I was gonna say +1. So
yeah, no, he's telling the
60.
truth. You're pretty sure.
I can't tell who's lying.
he's lying.
Think-
His name is definitely Egghead.
Okay,
know,
Egghead.
Didn't you buy some alcohol earlier? They make a great regent with some of the supplies I have.
You touch my alcohol, I'll skin you alive.
Moot point.
Do I see
I
any
wonder what
bread in the
would've
room
happened
as
if you
well,
skin
by the
alive
way?
Genasi.
As you are sat here, kind of sat and jabbering amongst yourselves, you would finally hear from up in one of the vents. You hear, "All right, we're sending the first bread down." As you would then
Okay.
hear this little like noise as as this little platter lowers down, and you would see in it is this. It looks kind of like tiger bread, but between each of the stripes of the bread, there is this slight pinkish glisten to it, like some sort of sugary powder laid on the top.
Grab, bite. Doesn't even think
Just
about
going straight for
consequences.
it.
Just yeah, just
Constitution saving throw.
Oh, okay. Oh fuck. Okay. Okay. Ooh. What's that? 14. 16.
Processing.
So as you bite this, you would find that you don't feel thirsty anymore. Roll as a 1d4.
Oh, okay. Oh god. What was that?
1.
So
One.
one.
So for this day, you are incapable of being dehydrated in any way. You
Yes.
are perfectly quenched in all of your thirst.
Sweet.
And these are like slices, by the way, so you can you know it's enough for like samples rather than like a full feast.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
I
go
carry
next.
on eating the bread
You-
but with
you-
cheese on top.
Am I
watch-
supposed to take from the same one? Is it
Yeah,
different one?
there's another brief moment as you would hear the thing click again as another one comes down. This one looks like a small muffin. It is a slight
okay.
pinkish color, like it's like a nice little pink cupcake.
I will, of course, I will rip off the top of the muffin and will eat it.
Give us a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's one person per loaf.
Damn. So much stuff in the way.
Let me move my day.
All right.
It's a 17.
17. With so 18.
18.
Actually,
You take a
hang on,
bite out of
one
it.
second, double checking.
Basically, each of these
maybe-
breads, by the way, have like 4 uses.
Yeah, 17.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
So as you take a bite, a bite out of this, it tastes nice. You know, it's sweet. It has this slight strawberryish
Very good.
aftertaste. But as you look to the rest of your party, they are completely still. As you slowly look around, they are completely unmoving. As you stand up, it's almost like you can feel the air around you is like still, like soup.
Oh.
As this brief moment of like almost stopped time,
Can I just like walk behind?
give us a 1d4.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Flush time.
Oh, that was a block. 2.
2. So you have 12 seconds.
Yeah, the first 6 are going to be spent just kind of like, just kind of stand over by Gil. I'm just kind of like looking, observing him.
As you sit and observe him, the rest of you would see him bite into the muffin and then he's just gone.
What
Where
the
did-
heck?
Oh,
Where'd he go?
As you would now realize he is now behind you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Did he
How did you?
You were.
Whoa! Magic!
Yeah.
How did you?
What did you just do?
Wow.
What did you just
what
do
are
right
they-
now?
I walked.
You walked?
You
that's-
bit the bread and then you were here.
Yes.
Are you sure
I
you
walked.
don't know teleportation? Been studying that for a while.
No,
I don't
it
know.
was-
Work out the kinks here.
You most certainly did not.
Hello.
Magic.
Oh wait, hold on.
Magic.
If you want to see.
I must write this down.
He's just gonna
Yes.
poke.
Pink muffin.
Yeah, he's
Jumps
there.
up,
He's
poke.
there.
Teleportation.
I'm just gonna.
Powers.
I'm gonna cast prestidigitation. And I'm
research
just gonna like
further.
make my hands sparkle for a second. Magic.
Whoa.
Cool.
Oh,
Magic.
Lu-
All
Lucas
right,
looks back to the
Party
breads.
trick.
Not quite.
Click. Tick, 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 plunk. This one just looks like a loaf of plain bread.
This one can't be too bad. Lucas will go and taste a slice this time.
All right, give us just Constitution saving throw.
This is gonna fail.
Can't be
Watch.
too bad. Head explodes.
That looks like
I think
that is a 9.
that's actually harder to.
That looks like an 8.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Had to
so
get
it's a 9.
closer.
Oh
Plus
no.
1, it's a 9.
9.
Oh.
9.
Okay. Okay, so you would all watch as you suddenly feel this searing pain in your forehead as you would see these two lumps beginning to grow as something penetrates out the skin, as you would watch
Oh.
two horns begin to grow and curl
Seen this
upward from his
correctly?
forehead.
He's horny!
What?
A little bit of blood
It
dribbles
is.
down, but you now permanently have two red horns on your
No.
forehead.
He has horns!
Ah,
Welcome to the horny group.
I wonder.
Get used to them after a while.
They are
Like, how
2
big are
inches
they?
each.
Okay.
Hmm.
Ah.
They're pointy.
I might be able to use achieve this.
Wait, hang on. He's horny and you're immune to thirst. Ha!
But
Nice.
Devon Tisk.
Nice.
Jeez.
Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, that's
I'm
blood.
gonna like pass him with just like a rag. Here.
Wait.
Let's get that.
it's all the
Yeah.
blood's pretty much already stopped flowing. It's like almost like the blood that you get from
Yeah,
like
just
a
I'm just
scab.
helping him clean up.
I got it. And he takes
Yeah.
out a card and he casts Prestidigitation.
So
Hmm.
you're next
Oh.
because I don't want those.
Well, I might as well. Can document my
Do we all
findings.
have to just take
It's
one
always
each?
best.
Clunk.
I think so.
As the next one lowers down, and it is a full chocolate gâteau cake.
Mmm, delectable. Let's just take a slice of that. Oh, actually, pull out my dagger. Just cut a small piece off, put it away.
Just take a bite out of it. Good.
Constitution saving throw.
I'm gonna steal that chocolate gatto from you though afterwards.
That is an 11 with, I believe. God damn it. With Constitution is +5, so wait, 5? No, Constitution is +6, so
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
So
Damn.
what?
Fuck, holy shit.
a
Go fuck with
17.
artificers. Apparently.
17.
17. You feel some effect try to activate, but you resist it
Ooh.
as you just eat this lovely chocolate gâteau.
Mmm, that was delicious. I feel a bit funny though.
Can I take the
think
strawberry, the chocolate gatto afterwards and have some myself? Put some cheese on top.
Reach over. Gâteau. You just like, you don't have a knife, so you just kind of like scoop
Just
like
grab. Oh, sorry. I just like scoop up like a silver and just go. Oh.
like that
Or we'd,
scene
like,
out of
sprinkle some
Matilda,
cheese
you
on it.
you just hand in, slide a
Yeah.
chunk out.
Yeah, but like
Constitution saving
cheese.
throw.
Yeah, before I fucking combust. What was that?
13
15.
plus Constitution.
15.
Mhm.
15. So, you bite into the gâteau. Oh, it's good. It's good chocolatey goodness. You feel a slight tingle,
it's
but
really
then it
nice.
subsides as you.
Just look at the chocolate off my fingers. It's nice. Yeah, nice.
You know,
Anyone
since
else?
Since two of us partook of the sim cake, would they give us double the gold? Or would it just be the simple 5
I
gold
have some.
piece still?
I think
Natural
it's
20.
I'm just
Constitution.
hungry. I just like this.
Natural 20.
Yeah,
20.
it's a nat 20.
Give us an Arcana check.
Alright. I could do that.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Alright. Ow, I just hit my desk. You know what?
no.
Just for fun, I'm double checking the wording on this really quick. Just for fun. I'm feeling lucky. That was a plot. 20. Read it.
Yeah.
Mm.
24. Was it cocked?
I don't know. Is it caught?
That's cocked. If you look at it
Fuck,
from
alright.
down the side, it is floating on the.
I'll do it again. I'll do it again.
damn.
Here!
Almost
That
two
one's like
nat
you.
20s.
That one was clean.
That's 11.
Alright, and the one before that was 13 plus 5, so 18.
Man, a lot of
18?
11s today.
18, you would understand that from the feeling and, like, your understanding of the flow of magic, something was trying to be summoned by this chocolate gâteau.
Oh. Oh. We should stop eating this.
It
The
seems
cake
safe
or
enough.
just in
Why?
general?
I think these two have just crashed.
Oh,
Me? I'm
Oh.
good.
no, I think.
Size back.
I'm good.
Keep eating it.
No,
I'm gonna keep eating it.
no, no. Cause fear.
Reaching over. Grab
I
one
cast
of
cause
these.
fear.
Oh.
I cast cause
Wait,
fear.
Alright, what does he need to do?
I need a
What are
wisdom
you
saving throw.
From me?
Yep.
Oh my fucking god. This is how the team falls apart. Oh, I just don't know.
Oh yeah, because you keep trying to.
A 10.
13.
11. Oh,
13.
Yes.
Meets.
13.
so that
Meets
Oh,
beats.
okay.
Meets, yep. So yeah, you're
I
fine.
still go for.
You
I still
you
go
see
for the king.
Adrian look at you. There's this like weird thought, like you just like sat through a horror movie, but you're fine.
Gil's just gonna
So
keep
good.
smacking her hand. He's on the table at this point.
I will ram you in a second. Don't test me.
Don't promise me a good time.
I wonder.
You hear another click as the gâteau starts being raised up unless one of you takes it off the tray as
Grab.
another tray is coming down.
Yeah, he can't do anything with that.
I've got the gâteau in my hand over here.
As the other tray comes down, the
I
last
cast
one that
Mage
you
Hand.
see,
And I smack it into the ceiling.
dex saving throw.
I lift it into the ceiling.
Oh my god.
She's gonna get us killed. I'm calling it. TPK because of her.
That's a 20!
What the fuck?
She can't keep getting away with this.
It gets
She
flipped.
can't keep getting
in the
away
air.
with this!
She just turns her hand and catches it like that, and then does this with it.
Oh my god.
Thank you. Nom.
Constitution saving throw.
Oh,
As the last tray comes down, this one has a small chocolate eclair on.
19.
I don't.
Well, come on. Come on, you signed it.
I don't think I can
Signed
eat
it.
chocolate. I'm pretty sure I can't eat chocolate.
21.
But you're not an
21?
otter. You're an
Just
otter
fine.
folk.
Yeah.
More chocolate gâteau, it's delicious.
I will
Exactly.
stab you.
Can't keep getting away with
I will
it.
stab you. Keep making that argument, and I will stab you.
But you
It's a
made that
valid
argument.
Can maybe you could
I will
just call
stab
to
you
them
too.
saying, just call to them and say you're allergic. Like if it's an actual allergy, it's not a test. It's just
I'll
He's just
try
gonna
it.
Bang on the. Yeah, I'm allergic to chocolate.
Oh, sorry. One of your others can test it if you want, or we can
Okay.
just forfeit you.
You going for it?
Yeah, I'm good. Just by the way, her hand is covered
Oh,
in gâteau.
This does not
She has the
bode well.
she has the gâteau in her hand as well, so she's like, and her
The
face is covered
gâteau
in
is
chocolate.
larger than the bread pieces. This thing has had 10
Mhm.
uses. You guys have had,
I've gone through 4 now.
4 pieces now. So there's 6 more pieces of chocolate gâteau cake.
Oh god, it's gonna
Oh.
be like summon greater demon or something.
And you also now have an eclair in this chocolate covered hand.
This is bad, isn't it? If I do this.
Right in
Fuck you
character.
all.
As a player, yes.
Oh wait, hold on.
She has the gato in her hand. She has the eclair.
Wait, what?
What happens if I mix them together?
You probably have to roll for them both.
Would it count as a poison if they are allergic to chocolate, or
Oh no,
isn't
yeah,
that what
you're not
chocolate
allergic
is?
to chocolate. You're not allergic to chocolate or anything like
Yeah,
that.
I was just going by because Otter can't eat, or like only humans can eat chocolate, but technically because of he's immune to poisons. So if it would act as a poison, he would be able to eat it.
Do you want to eat it then?
Yes, I do. Mine.
She has smeared it in the gatter there.
Oh
As you chomp it down. So I'd like to do a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage.
Oh no! What have you done?
Fucked you over.
Hold on.
That's an 8.
That's an 8.
Oh boy.
Oh, that was flop.
Oh. Yeah. That's a 7. Hold on, Justin. Which would be...
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's an 8 or a 9, so...
So, you would watch as he eats the eclair, smacks his lips, and then sneezes as you would watch him suddenly turn into a peacock. As then, how do I cock that? Christ. As about 10 rats suddenly swarm in from you don't know where. There's no gaps for them to come from. Swarm out of nowhere and start just doing little spinning laps around him. So he is
Oh
now
my
stuck as a
God.
peacock. Give me a 1d8.
Oh no.
It's like the
Yes.
two-sided d4. It's like the little pyramid here.
Oh, this one. Alright. Ah. That is 2.
You are stuck as a peacock for 2 hours.
Can you not
Yes.
talk?
Amazing.
Yes.
Can you talk or not?
He's a peacock.
Does he?
Okay.
So he
Do I
is
just
just a
squawk?
peacock.
He is straight up polymorphed into a peacock.
Amazing.
Angry
Mhm.
otter noises to angry peacock noises.
And the rats are just there.
The rats are just doing a slow spin around them. They're just like doing a little march sort of like circle.
Huh.
I think that's a death circle.
They'd be eating.
Squawk.
Huh.
You did that.
Hmm.
Wow.
Just gonna start flapping and start pecking.
No, please.
Amazing.
So
I think
as-
it's time for us to leave this chamber.
I think we're
done,
yeah.
You'd hear the door click and unlock as you would just hear from the chute. Thank you for your cooperation. Don't forget to fill the forms out when you leave.
Okay.
It's more
Goes
rough.
in.
Fucking peacock.
And we'll go with the gato. Fuck you.
As you exit the room, the guy behind the desk has set out these little like bits of paper that seem to be like you just have to write down like the effects that happened. Was it
What we
good?
experienced.
You know, would you eat it again?
He,
Gonna start pecking at
Yes.
the paper.
Yes. Yes.
what? Well, actually, did the thing I eat taste good?
To you, did it?
The one you ate, it was just bread. Just
Yeah, it
plain
was just bread. But did
Do you like the taste of bread?
You like bread?
pretty good. Pretty good. Average.
Probably the
But
best
the-
bakery in the
average.
fucking-
Would I eat
By the
again?
way, do the
No.
rats follow him?
Yeah. As he moves, they just continue the little spiral around him.
Those are
I'm
some
still taking the
coordinated
gato with me.
rats.
as you finish writing on each one, he does place a little satchel of gold as, you know, like, thank you for it, as, you know, each of you finish signing the papers. He looks to you
So
and just
should
goes,
I write on his behalf?
yeah, can someone write for them?
Yeah, yeah.
He's just
Um,
pecking at the paper.
I
I'll
go.
I'll-
Did it
I'll-
ta-
I'll
did-
fill-
did it
okay,
taste good?
okay.
You squawks
Gonna
for no.
start
like some
flapping his wing
chocolate
towards him
cake?
and pecking at him.
Whoa. I'm just. It was part of the
This entourage
question.
Rats.
It's part of the question.
So
Hey,
would
do you want
not
some gatto?
I'm
he,
good. Thank you.
Again, needs.
Do you have a nail
more
file?
Cinnamon.
Adrian.
A
Do you
name?
have a file? A file? or
Yes,
something?
actually.
Oh wait, do I have?
There you
actually-
go.
I have a knife.
I don't think that will
I
help.
have a knife. Then no.
So as you guys finish up with this, write down your things and get paid, you start heading out of the bakery with the chocolate gâteau still in hand. The man is honestly quite terrified of you as you exit, so let you take it.
Actually, I'm gonna buy like 2 dozen just fresh buns, regular buns.
Okay, they're
The
about
next few days of soup
3 silver pieces each. So
for a dozen
for a dozen,
or per
no,
bun.
not for a not
Okay.
not for a dozen. Sorry, so it'd be for a dozen. It'd be that'd be more like 8 silver for a dozen.
Okay, so that'd be 1 gold, 6 silver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So as you guys exit out, you with the chocolate gâteau, the rest of you having eaten some interesting things, you with some new horns, and you as a peacock with an entourage of around 10 rats. As that is where we are going to end it for tonight, as we are currently about 35 minutes over when I would usually end.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
Oh, hey. That was fun.
Yes.
I enjoyed that.
I love.
Wait,
I really don't.
I'm a
I
fucking
really
peacock.
Why
don't.
is it anything? Why is it anything we do anymore? Why does it always end with rats?
As soon as I rolled
Damn
that
rats.
for the gâteau, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
It's fucking rats.